It is done. Elon Musk has closed his deal. It has been reported. He said he bought the platform. There may be some subtleties and some nuance over the next day or so, but apparently it's done. I guess when Elon Musk walked in with the kitchen sink, that was him being like, it's mine. He showed up. There's this really funny viral photo of an angry looking Twitter employee who's like staring at him, but it is what it is. Now, here's the big news. Tesla engineers have entered Twitter HQ to do a code review. Oh, please, please, please. I'm so excited for this. I hope whatever they got working in the machine, all this garbage and gunk, I hope Elon just comes out and says, hey, remember when Jack Dorsey said all those things? He was lying. Here, look at this code. Look what we found. And it's like all of it comes out. But hey, you know, maybe he releases the code and there's nothing overtly nefarious in there. But I think what we're going to see is the bias. Intentional or otherwise, they're going to be like, hey, look at these these phrases that were banned or filtered or shadow banned. This is going to be interesting if Elon Musk actually stays true to his word. So we'll talk about that. There's a lot of stories here. The left, they're fleeing to Tribal Social, who pre-banned Donald Trump. Hilarious. They say, we don't censor anything. We just filter hate speech and fake news. And the fake news coincides with actual real news, but, you know, they can't have their narrative interrupted. So we'll talk about that. Plus a hot mic catches Chuck Schumer saying, we're in danger. I love it. Ralph Wiggum meme. The Democrats are going to lose, and it's so bad that one Democratic consultant thinks that Ron DeSantis is going to win Miami-Dade County. That is a major urban center. Whoa. Before we get started, head over to Timcast.com, become a member to support our work. We're going to have an awesome members-only uncensored show coming up for you tonight at 11 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And as a member, you're supporting our journalists. We've got field reporters, people on the ground covering stuff. We fact check all day, every day. A great team of people who are reporting on the news. And it's thanks to you we're able to keep this up. But don't forget, we got Cast Castle. We got Tales from the Inverted World, new shows coming. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us tonight to discuss this and more is Alex Bruesewitz.
How you doing, guys?
Who are you?
Glad to be here. I'm Alex Bruesewitz. I like long walks on the beach.
Do you really, though?
No,
like,
I actually hate the beach. The sand is horrible. But I own a consulting company called X Strategies. We work with America First candidates all over the country. We're really looking forward to a lot of wins on November 8th. So we like to make America great again over here.
Right on. And while normally I would shout out the T-shirt merchant, in fact, we also have a pillow merchant.
Well, actually, this is Ian Crossland, as you can all tell. For those of you listening on the podcast version, obviously my voice has not changed in any way because this is definitely Ian Crossland. Get your graphene. Whoa, that was really weird. Ian just kind of like channeled my mind for a second there.
He's downstairs meditating.
He's downstairs,
like,
yeah, he's downstairs meditating, doing his. Some people do one-arm push-ups. He does armless push-ups. I don't know if you realize that Ian is able to do that.
Only when he's playing Magic.
Only when, yeah. Well, it depends on what his mana is at the time. But no, Jack Posobiec, what's up? Promo code POSO at mypillow.com and other various sundry websites. Human Events Daily, we're just killing it over there. And huge shout out to just everybody for asking me to come on. I've been trying to come on pretty much all season, but been a little busy. Just got back from Louisiana. We were up in Erie, Pennsylvania campaigning with the great Doug Mastriano, who was fantastic here.
He was cool, dude.
The other night. And much, much better than John Fetterman, who, as Michael Malice says, looked like if someone shaved Chewbacca.
Oh, wow.
No cześć mój kolega, jak tam wszystko u ciebie, jak tam u twojej rodziny?
Jak się masz?
No kurde po polsku nie mówię. Welcome back. Anyway, my name is Lukadowski here. We are Change.org. A little bit of a complicated t-shirt that I have on today. It has Facebook saying I delete your post, Amazon saying I delete your books, YouTube saying I delete your videos, and then of course we have Mr. Bill Gates saying I delete you. And then underneath that is of course Elon Musk. This was an original shirt just with Bill Gates at the end of it. We just added Elon Musk saying I revive the deleted. If you like the shirt, you could get it on the best political shirts. Because you do, I am here. Kurde, dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję.
And I am Serge. Hello, guys.
You know, I'm. It's like the one night I don't have a sponsor. Well, we don't often do reads, and I'm like, I wish I had something because you know Jack's shouting out pillows, Luke's shouting out shirts, and I'm just like, we need vitamins or something. We need some kind of like traditional podcast boxer brief or something. But I guess we don't have, so we'll just settle with the promo code POSO and
boom
and Luke's shirts.
BestPoliticalShirts.com.
Luke's also set up his shirts in such a way that you actually have to read down lower and lower and lower. I know what I'm doing in order to get the joke. So there's a lot of subliminal stuff going on there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the big news from today. Elon Musk releases statement explaining Twitter purchase.
Huge.
Quote, "It is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence." And of course, he is correct. He said some interesting things there that he's trying to bring people together. And I think Elon might be a little bit naive. Let me tell you guys a story. I recently went to, I was in Texas, and I got to meet with a bunch of people, including some confidants and associates of Elon, I guess. I mean, it was a party, and so people who were there claimed to know him. I don't know. But there were a lot of influential people there who worked in the tech sector, and it was a big tech sector thing. And then I was there, and I said to I was talking to some friends, and I was like, I don't think these guys understand culture at all. They very much understand technology, and that's probably why Elon wanted to buy Twitter in the first place, because he understands its power. But he does not understand the left. He really doesn't. I think he's relatively new to this. So Aiden Paladin on Twitter, I saw this great thing that she had posted. Numerous studies show that inherent in the left, explicitly and overtly, it is dominated by greed, violence, envy, hatred. And there's numerous studies that she cited in this post showing all of these scientific studies about how that's where they're rooted. I'm not surprised, because we get fake news, we get manipulation, we get lying, cheating, stealing. It's remarkable when we had a commercial played today. I'm skating. We have the radio on. Well, we have Pandora on. And they're lying about Dr. Oz. And I'm like, look, I don't like Oz, but it's all lies. You know why? The defamation lawsuit cost of doing business to win an election. You lie about your opponent, you win, the PAC's got to pay a fee. That's just part of the process. I don't think Elon Musk understands the bifurcation of culture and where this ultimately will lead to. But I will say, when it comes to this escalating conflict, the right continually being like, we will let the left speak. We just want to speak too. And we don't want to fight. We want peaceful divorce. That's when you get crushed.
Yeah, when you have two sides fighting, or really when you have two groups, and I know that there's sort of been this description of American society as left versus right, left versus right, left versus right. And I don't think that's correct. I don't actually think that's right at all. I think there's the left, I think there's the right, and in the middle, you have normies.
Hold on.
And certainly there's other groups out there. It's a spectrum, etc. But normies are the people who are like not focused on politics, not focused on news 24/7. They're not the junkies. They're not going in for that dopamine fix on Twitter or on YouTube, whatever, all the time. And so the question is, are the normies getting more and more radicalized or not? Are they paying attention? Are they getting red pilled? But then when you have one group that says, we are going to destroy you and change all of culture to fit our needs and fit our culture and our precepts, and another side that says, hey, we just want to be left alone, then it's pretty obvious which side's going to win.
I want to just, I don't know if it's left, right, normie. I used to think that. Now what I think happened is you have the left and the right, and then a weird growth on the left started to bubble up and then slopped off and has become this weird, unhinged, hateful, chaotic, destructive force that thinks it's the left and then looks at the normal world of left, right, and moderate as right wing. That's why everyone to the right of Stalin is far right. Did you see Jezebel called Ian Crossland a conservative commentator?
I mean, he's just the most conservative guy. I mean, he's always here demanding traditional marriage, telling people to stop getting divorced.
Yeah,
you need to raise that baby.
Now they mistakenly, they were referring to a quote from Seamus. But just the fact that they didn't even realize the mistake.
Well, I mean, all white people look alike, so.
To them, I suppose. But I think about that. I think about when they say like Tim Pool is far right, and I'm like, it's just so weird that I'm like this traditional liberal. And, like, Jack, you're conservative. Luke, you're an anarchist. Alex, I believe you're conservative too. And we're having civil discussion with moderate American culture style disagreements in the space and agreements. And whatever this weird left that sloughed off just doesn't believe in anything at all. And the Democrats try to pander to that. It's like, it's a sludge monster.
Well, it's also that it's not that they don't believe in anything. It's that what they believe is not a political ideology. What they believe is a form of political theocracy.
Yeah, the sludge also is so effective because they move together and they're always the loudest people in the rooms. They're always there they're the mob, and they try to shout you down.
It's fire.
And beat you up. And Elon is facing that daily now on Twitter. Before
look at the photos. You saw the photos, right? When he went to visit Twitter today.
The woman's face.
Yeah, and you can see the people that he's talking to, right? Whoever he's making eye contact with, and you can see because there were a variety of photos that came out, not just this one. I haven't seen any videos yet, which is weird. Like, why do we have photos but not video? And whenever he's making eye contact with someone, I mean, he's a charming guy. Obviously, he's very personable. They're super nice, but then when he turns, you always get these photos behind, like,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's also important to assess here that Elon Musk did buy Twitter because of what you guys are describing. There's a meme going around today of the dominoes falling, and one of them is the Babylon Bee calling a man, being a very small domino,
Right.
and then the very big domino at the end is Elon Musk walking into Twitter headquarters with a kitchen sink in his hands.
That's good, yeah.
So I think the letter to advertisers that Elon Musk wrote today is extremely telling. He wrote about how he was doing this for humanity. He wrote about how big tech social media is bifurcating, splintering people to the far left and the far right. He talked about echo chambers. He talks about how he wants to help humanity with this purchase, as this letter looks like he's laying the groundwork for allowing people that were previously deleted back on the platform, which is going to create some controversy. It looks like he's trying to save face from the controversy. It looks like he's setting up a situation where he's like making the argument for bringing back free speech on the platform.
No, hold on a minute. It's been reported that he closed the deal.
Yeah.
He's in Twitter HQ. Why isn't James O'Keefe back on the platform? No, hold on. I know. Everyone immediately says, Tim, Alex Jones, Donald Trump. I'm like, I understand all of those. Those are political arguments. The argument with, say, Jones and with Trump and Carl Benjamin is, hate speech or whatever. And then we roll our eyes and say that's ridiculous. James O'Keefe broke no rules. They didn't even, what was it? They said he was operating multiple accounts or some fake reason. I think they did the same thing to Milo as well. Like, the first thing Elon should have done when he walked in is said, like, okay, we seriously need to, like, Veritas back on the platform.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling it's going to look a lot like the Pokemon movie when, like, all of the Pokemon, like, turn to stone. And then Ash starts crying, and all of a sudden the Pokemon come back to life. That's what Twitter's going to be like.
The first time I've ever heard anyone actually make a Pokemon movie.
The
reference.
Pokemon,
well,
yeah,
that's what it's going to be. It's going to be an awesome scene. Yeah. Everyone's going to be moved to tears, like I was in that moment.
Did they steal that from Narnia? Isn't that the end of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
I don't know. This movie came out. They might have. They might have, but it was
in the 1940s.
Yeah,
and then Mewtwo says,
"I'm not a historian, Jack."
And then Mewtwo says, "I understand now. The circumstances of one's birth does not define you."
Okay,
exactly.
Stop nerding out. Wait, let's talk about
is James O'Keefe Mewtwo or is Alex Jones Mewtwo?
No, I think James O'Keefe is like probably the guy just standing there filming what's going on. They kicked out.
He's
probably Jack Dorsey.
He's the camera guy for
Jack Dorsey's Mewtwo.
No,
that's Pokemon Snap. That's different.
Stop it. We have to talk about what's really going on here. Now, TMZ is reporting that Elon Musk is officially a buyer of Twitter.
But
from the reports that I'm looking at right now, the bank accounts are still sending the money to all the people that are the shareholders. They're still in the process of that.
I didn't get paid.
And Elon Musk...
Where's my money, Elon?
Again, I mean, he's known for doing rash things, but I think in this huge billion-dollar investment that is taking away a quarter of his entire wealth, I think he's going to be smart, but also slow. I think he's going to be looking at what happened, looking at each case individually, and I think if anyone's going to be reinstated first, I think it's going to be the Babylon Bee.
Oh, for sure. I think, so I have 22 shares with Twitter, and I see the price at like $54 now. It's like 53 or something. They're delisting it from the New York Stock Exchange, which basically confirms the deal's done. And Elon, I want my money. Where's my money? I'll tell you what. I will only accept the money in the form of you coming here personally and sitting down and then, handing the cash while the show is on, of course. So tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time is the only time I'm accepting the cash. So I'd love to see you.
There's a line, and I'm going to paraphrase it from Machiavelli's The Prince, 500 years old, but everybody remembers it. where he says that if a prince must commit atrocities, he should commit them early. and so I always kind of think of that Elon has this sort of period right now where when I'm calling for, don't do this piecemeal, this like set up some system of, we'll do this one, we'll do Babylon, no. Blanket amnesty.
Yeah.
Overturn every single permanent ban on Twitter. Make everyone, when they come back, hold on. They have to redo their terms of service. They have to sign up again. They have to go through the process. They have to follow it. But my point is, release the prisoners of war from the great meme war of 2015, 2016 immediately.
No.
Let my people go.
Hold on. There is a challenge there. There are a lot of accounts that were permanently banned for things we would agree they should be banned for, like graphic images of kids or just...
Well, you set up a system where if it's not something that's directly criminal, for example, as Elon has said, if it's on the First Amendment, then I'm going to let it on.
I do think there I agree mostly. I do. I just think it can't be a blanket. It has to be probably a large analysis. They need to be able to go and look at however they went about banning them, and like if anyone banned for saying learn to code, reinstated instantly.
Well, for example, we already know
any hate speech ban.
We know through the Missouri lawsuit with A.G. Schmidt that they were banning people at the behest of the NIH. They were banning people on the behest of
the White House,
California, the White House. DC Drano got banned because of the state of California. We know that. See what I'm thinking of. Alec Berenson. Alec Berenson was able to get his account back because he pointed out that Twitter instituted this 3-strike law for COVID-19, and then they didn't even follow their own 3 strikes, which also gets to my point because that's contract law, that you need to fix the terms of service. But kind of take the discussion back up a little bit. I think that what you said at the beginning really is the biggest part here. The fact that these Tesla coders are coming in, engineers are looking at this.
Let's pull it up.
I mean, this is Neo inside the Matrix now.
Here's a story from Bloomberg. Tesla engineers visit Twitter office to review code for Musk. Well, there you go. I mean, that's the news. This is huge.
Bum, bum, bum.
So I think this is why Vijay was crying when the news broke that Elon was buying the platform, because I wonder who's going to prison.
Well, I think people should certainly be held accountable and face serious consequences for what Twitter did, especially during the 2020 election. Leading up to the 2020 election, when they censored the Hunter Biden story and they started banning all the conservative accounts, and out of nowhere they banned political advertising without giving people really much of a heads up.
And there should be some real life consequences for this. Facebook, by the way, has just been ordered to pay $24.7 million to the state of Washington because they didn't release all the information behind their political advertisements. Now, imagine what we're going to see if we're going to actually see anything, because again, at the end of the day, we also have to start thinking about this way. This is Elon Musk's new product. Will he release information that makes this product look bad? That's another question I think we should be asking ourselves.
It could make it look good. Look,
because you're also looking at a regime change.
If Elon comes in right now and says, just right at the gate, so when they testified before Congress about these 3 things, they lied. Here's the proof in their code. I wonder who then, if they I don't know if they testified under oath or whatever, probably not, but that'll be huge. Make Twitter look as bad as possible, and that's the right move. You know why? Because then if in 2 years you only make it look a little bit better, it looks a lot better. You know what I mean?
Right. When Chairman Mao died in 1976, the Chinese Communist Party, of course, they have their new emperor now, but at the time they realized they had to kind of find a way to maintain the legitimacy of the party in the face of the Cultural Revolution. And 15 million people have been killed. Every school, every university in the entire country shut down. Families turned against family. It's abject chaos going on across the entire country. So they have to find some way to say, okay, we can still be in power. We have to maintain the brand, but we have to separate from this. So what do? They blamed it on his wife. And 3 of her friends, they called them the Gang of 4. They arrested the wife. Then she commits suicide in prison. And then Deng Xiaoping and the party go off and say, well, now that we've taken care of that, everything's fine.
Take a look at this. In the story, they say Twitter's engineers can no longer make changes to code as of noon in San Francisco. The people said that's part of an effort to ensure that nothing about the product changes ahead of the deal closing. Said the people who declined to be named, come on, they had months to figure out how to cover their tracks and bury the evidence, right?
They probably called in Hillary Clinton and be like, Hillary Clinton, you got experience with this.
Bleach pit.
Bring the bleach, please. Bring the hard drives, please.
I mean, this is
Bring the rag.
If Seamus is listening, we got one for you. Elon is going to buy the platform, and then Vijay Gadde starts crying. What do we do? They're going to get the evidence. And then they hear a doorbell ring, and they open the door, and it's Hillary Clinton with like 6 hammers in her belt, and she's like, "Let's go!" And they start
sunglasses
smashing.
on. Yeah.
They start smashing everything with hammers. And for those who don't know, it's because the Clinton campaign smashed their phones with hammers, thinking that would actually stop someone from collecting the data. But whatever.
And when she was asked at one point about wiping her server, her illegal email server that she had in her bathroom, she said,
in a bathroom?
Yep.
Yeah. She said, wipe? You mean like with a rag?
Yes. And then I love when NBC News, Trump said she acid washed her server. It was like, fact check, false. Hillary Clinton did not use a corrosive substance.
You remember
on
how
her
they caught the guy
laptop,
on Reddit, right?
Yeah.
You remember the whole
crazy.
story?
He was bragging about it.
No. He wasn't just bragging. He didn't know how to do it.
How do I?
And
He
he
said,
went and
he said, how do I remove a very, very VIP from some emails?
And I'd also like to point out that yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of Hillary Clinton's "Happy Birthday to the Future President" tweet. The tweet that will forever live in infamy. One of the greatest tweets ever, in my opinion.
I just like to sometimes play that video where she's sitting in the chair and she's like, "You can be the candidate, you can be the nominee, and it can be stolen from you." And then I'm just like, see.
Well, she doubled down on those being an election denier a couple days ago. She said that right-wing extremists are already starting to steal the 2024 election. And, I just got subpoenaed and went through a year and a half of, hell for questioning the legitimacy of the 2020 election with evidence backing it up. Is a Republican Congress going to subpoena Hillary Clinton for sowing distrust in the 2024 election already? So, the wicked witch is refusing to go away.
But by the way, listen to these phrases that we're using now: sowing distrust, raising questions, there's no law backing up any of these things. This isn't a legal basis. The legal basis in the United States is something called freedom of speech.
Did you see the Veritas
And that's
thing?
where the sludge comes from.
You see the Project Veritas release that said that they're tracking misinformation as an election crime, and they define it as accidental, like false information. It's like a mistake.
So it's like, there used to be an old joke, and I'm not going to say it, but this old joke that, they would say Republicans vote on, and then they would use a different day of the week than election day, or you could change it and say Democrats vote on a different, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that would be this idea that,
a
you're tricking
memer
them.
got arrested for that.
There was a guy who was
Well, we
memed
just saw
over a draft meme, and he was arrested and
Horrible.
charged, claiming this meme campaign that was done in 2016. It was, I believe, it started on 4chan, and I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head, but his real name, not his Twitter name, and he was arrested for creating a meme saying that Hillary Clinton wanted to draft our daughters. That's
Really?
it. That was the meme.
horrible. And then meanwhile, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, you have Fetterman that's running lies and lies and lies about
probably,
Dr. Oz.
No, it's probably PACs.
Well, PACs that are aligned with Fetterman
Oh,
that
no,
are
no, no.
heavily funded by the
Hold on.
Democrat Party.
I did see a commercial where he said, "I approve this message."
Right. So these people,
Douglas Mackey, by the way. Douglas Mackey.
Douglas Mackey. He's got a great legal defense fund. If you guys want to check that out, just Google his name. I'm sure you guys can find that. But it's horrible what's happening there. But John Fetterman can run these ads that are knowingly lies, and they put millions of dollars behind them. And John Fetterman, like you said, will probably just get a little fine or a slap on the wrist. But Douglas Mackey has a draft meme, and now he's facing prison time.
A draft? Oh, right, the draft.
It was in his
our
draft.
daughter's meme.
Right.
And so it's just BS and it's wrong. And so I think that whoever the next Republican president is, I believe it's going to be Donald J. Trump, but I would like to see him pardon Douglas Mackey for this. And we can't send memers to
once
prison.
I agree with Megyn Kelly, by the way, on her take on the primary.
Well, that's
That
true.
about DeSantis?
Just her take on where the Republican Party is, the Republican base. And then she was in this interview with, I think it was Dave Rubin, and he was asking her, do you think DeSantis is going to get it? Do you think Trump's going to get it? And she said, it's just going to be Trump, and there's no question.
I saw that. And I think she's right.
And then Trump posted it on Truth Social, and now
Yep.
it's gone like nuclear.
That's right. Yeah, basically saying, she said DeSantis is made by Trump, basically. Everybody knows it. DeSantis knows it. DeSantis needs Trump, his endorsement, so there's no way he runs against them.
It's true. And, it's not like, DeSantis goes viral on Twitter, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have the people's support all across the country. Only 6% of Ron DeSantis' donations come from small dollar donors. He's got 500 mega donors, including, Chicago billionaire Ken Griffin that has given him like $140 million. And so we need a president for the people, not by Wall Street.
We talked about when Trump said to lock up the journalists until they give up their sources. And, it's a very bad thing. It's kind of scary, but everyone laughs and cheers about it. Trump supporters are happy. I just think people need to realize these Democrats, most of the influential figures, let me slow down. On the left, prominent political figures are journalists. On the right, prominent political figures are just
us.
Yeah, random, disparate voices. Some are consultants, some are politicians, some work in media, some are journalists. But the left's loudest voices are like activists and journalists.
Maggie Haberman,
right.
Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid,
Taylor Lorenz.
Lorenz, yeah.
So when Trump says, take the person who's writing and lock him up, and then they soon are going to find out they're going to be someone's boyfriend, they'll spill the beans.
Who in this case, by the way, would be Josh Gerstein from Politico.
But people cheer for this, and the Democrats are like, oh, it's so horrifying. And I'm like, yeah, the thing is, regular Americans despise the media so much, and this poll after poll shows it, that you are not earning any favors by coming after Trump for this.
Greg Gianforte body slammed a journalist when he was running for Congress. And they said, oh, he's going to lose. This is terrible. This is terrible. Not only did he win the congressional race, he's now the governor of Montana.
Yeah. Right. Because people really despise the media.
Just read the room.
It's kind of scary. I don't like it. But the media is such despicable, evil garbage. Just do this.
That being said, there's other ways to find that leaker than that. A lot of
Sure. There's better ways to find the leaker. But after Trump learned about coloring the water, I'm surprised. Art of War stuff. But after the Fetterman Oz debate, Google search Dr. Oz, all hit pieces. Every single one of them. And I'm just like, this is insane.
I even saw someone pointing out that if you go to YouTube, it's actually hard to find the full debate. That if you're looking for
unless you go to the official YouTube channel of the news organization that did it. So I think they went against all the other channels. But YouTube's deleting a lot of videos.
What if you set it by length and say can't you do 20 minutes plus or something?
I haven't seen it anywhere, and I've heard those videos be deleted.
Wow.
So you're talking about the Google searches only being negative Oz stories, but
or pro Fetterman
during that debate, right after that debate, Google searches for how do I change my vote were off the charts in Pennsylvania. So the people watch that debate. They're like, look, they lied to me. They said John Fetterman had some sort of functioning brain. It was evident that he didn't. And so now the people that, maybe they voted for him early, they want to vote for Dr. Oz
Imagine
now.
being Connor Lamb right now and the thing that you lost to this guy.
Which,
keep in mind, the Democrat, and this is why you have to keep in mind, the relationship between Democrats and media has always been like this, right? They were able to hide up the fact that FDR couldn't walk for years. They would prop him up. But the point about Fetterman that I want to make is this. He had that stroke a week before the primary. This was not recent.
They kept it a secret.
They kept it a secret. And at one point, he was posting videos as if he was in these rallies and holding events while he was in the hospital.
Wow.
Nobody in media called him out on this in Pennsylvania.
Let's pull up this tweet real quick, and we'll talk about this from MSNBC.
God bless.
They write, disabled Americans have the right to be represented and most importantly to work, and that includes working for the U.S. government. So we've gone from he's not disabled to he is disabled, and that means he has a right to work for the government in the span of 12 hours?
It's
a big leap. Very
this
quickly.
Isn't okay. So Greg Abbott's in a wheelchair. That's when I hear disabled. That's kind of what I think about when someone's got neurological damage like Fetterman, when they can't actually. And by the way, who was the MSNBC journalist who they went after her like crazy? She was 100%. She's
Dasha Burns.
She was the
And
only
that's NBC
one who
News,
told
not
the truth.
MSNBC.
Okay, she was the only one who told the truth.
And
She's
not
the
enough.
only person. And she was attacked for it. She was excoriated for it, and she was proven 100% correct.
What did she say?
She said that this guy can't hold a conversation without the use of these computer apparatuses.
I want to tell you, it is not an auditory issue. They're lying. And I can give you one, I can cite an easy example from the debate that proves it is actually cognitive impairment when he said, "Hi, good night, everyone."
Yeah.
Now hold on.
Yeah.
He didn't accidentally say goodbye. What happened was his brain understands that evening and night are synonymous, but it didn't understand that good night and good evening are opposites.
Right.
That is cognitive impairment. Like his brain was able to recall the word and then said the wrong one in that context. That is cognitive impairment.
So when, and we've been discussing this. So have you heard what Bannon did over on War Room to cover this?
No, what did he
So this is hilarious. But it's very insightful as well. So he's been really, really focused on transhumanism and this whole idea of man-machine merger. And so he's taken his transhumanist editor, Joe Allen, and he sent him up to Pennsylvania to cover Fetterman as the world's first cyborg candidate. Because when you look at it, this is like a prototype that they're trying to roll out. Now, obviously, the tech isn't quite there yet, but they're trying to see if they can get away with actually hooking someone's mind up to a computer and then running them as a candidate. And my question is, now we saw this with closed captioning. Are they going to come out next and say, well, it's really not fair to only give him the closed captioning. We should be able to give him multiple choice answers that the computer feeds him, based on position statements and policy papers that he can choose from.
Or we get to the point where they wheel in on a hospital bed a totally paralyzed person who's just not moving, and then it rolls up and there's like an electrode going into the brainstem. "Hello, I am John Fetterman. I am running for Senate. Vote for me."
Why not just
That's
make it
what
really
we're about.
obvious and get a mannequin and a puppet with
By the way, that
strings
was much
attached
better
to
than
it?
your Elon Musk.
I think that would be more.
I said that was much better than your Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, the computer.
That was
robot-
actually pretty good.
Robot voice. Elon Musk is kind of hard to impersonate.
It's very hard to impersonate.
Yeah.
They're all puppets.
Well,
I mean,
A
in this case, right, this is why the regime wants people like Fetterman, like Joe Biden, because they don't want someone up there who's actually asking questions. They don't want someone up there who's got, like look at Blake Masters, right? You put Blake Masters in a room, that guy's going to be asking questions. He's going to say, how does this work? Where does the money come from? All this. Fetterman's going to say, Green, yes. Schumer, what do you want? Yes. And that's it. That's all he's going to do.
my favorite part of the Fetterman debate was when he said, quote, "I want to look every woman in Pennsylvania straight in the face." And that was the sentence. Could you imagine how terrifying that would be for the women of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, my mom's not down for that.
I would,
Mom's
if,
definitely not
I'm
down.
running the honest campaign. I'm running that quote just over Fetterman's face over and over again.
How about
for
when he
30
just randomly
seconds?
yelled out Doug Mastriano? You're all with Doug Mastriano!
But yeah, he did.
Wait,
but
what?
my favorite quote
Okay.
from the night was when asked about whether he supported fracking or not. He said,
Yeah.
I support fracking and I don't, and I support fracking and I support fracking."
So here's my analysis. This is my analysis.
So wait,
on
no,
that.
hold on.
Go ahead.
He said, "I support fracking." Okay, that's it. That's positive. And I don't. That's two negatives. But then he said, "And I support fracking, and I support fracking." So when you add those together, you get one statement of "I support fracking." So he does support fracking.
So, because the
Fake
question
news,
was,
he doesn't support fracking. For the fact checkers, he doesn't support fracking.
I think
because
that's what I
that
was
was
told.
that was the question, was that they pointed out, they were like, John, we have you on record a couple of years ago saying that you don't support fracking. We have this was it a letter that he signed, open letter that he signed, pledging to ban fracking from a couple of years ago.
He's going to.
And they said, well, John, can you explain this? And my take on it was, so like, Alex, you're a consultant, right? Let's say you're working for Fetterman. You know that question's coming up at the debate. You know that fracking is so important. Mastriano was in this very room talking about how we got to build pipelines to Erie, pipelines to Philadelphia, fracking all over the place, Marcellus Shale, etc. So you know this is coming up and the people of Pennsylvania want it. You would have had a prepared and some kind of way to deal with this. And it seemed to me like it was sort of like he went, okay, mind search for answer. And it just came up with this glaring 404 error, but he knew that the answer was that he had to say that he supported it, so he just straight up went with it.
Well, if I was Fetterman's consultant, there's no way in hell I would have let that guy on stage. Like,
well, I'm not saying you, but yeah, you know
like
what I mean.
Totally.
that just sunk the race. And there was polling that came out today, an October 25 poll, and it had Oz up 3, and that was before the debate. And so it's not gonna end well here for the first cyborg candidate. I think it was a failed experiment. And
World's first.
They should shut this program down.
Which party will win the U.S. Senate election in Pennsylvania in 2022? Take a look at that.
I mean, there you go.
The biggest loser of this all is Connor Lamb, and I think that's
seriously.
We don't talk about that enough.
Look at that right there. That's the debate.
You know, when Connor Lamb first won, you know, what was that, 2016 or 2014, Jack?
That was 18.
Well, he was basically like, this is the next boy wonder. This is our next Obama. And he loses to John Fetterman.
Well, because he was one of those. He was like the blue dog Democrat, right? He was one of the because he was a Marine, right? He's a Marine. He was in Western Pennsylvania. He beats Keith Rothfuss, so a guy who was in like a Trumpy area of Pennsylvania, but is able to pick up those sort of, they call them the Reagan Democrats. You might have to start calling them the Trump Democrats now. But he's able to win them over by saying, "Hey, I'm a Democrat, but I'm not part of the slime and the sludge," right?
Yeah.
But the problem is their primary base for the entire state of Pennsylvania wants that and doesn't like somebody who served in the military. I mean, like a colonizer and a murderer and a baby killer and all these things. And so they reject him. He's sitting there cooling his heels now, having to watch this entire debacle day in, day out.
They like him. They like John Fetterman, the man who chased down that unarmed black man with a shotgun when he was the mayor of that small town.
His response to that was insane.
He defended it.
Yeah, he defended it.
They knew what that was about.
Like,
they knew what that was about.
Yeah, what the? He was. I was keeping things safe or something like that.
I was just keeping everyone in my town. They understood what that was about, and I I mean, I think we all understand what that was about, John.
Wow, man.
And it ain't. But have you seen this is my take. They want to switch him out. This is what they want to do. They want to set it up, and the state of Pennsylvania. We've already got some issues on this. And Luke, you mentioned a little bit before the show, but they've already said they're talking. The Secretary of State, acting Secretary of State, Lee Chapman, is now saying, well, we may have a bit of a delay after election night. And the state Republicans now have already put forward a letter saying, why did you send out 250,000 mail-in ballots without verifying the identity of the people you were sending them to first, the way you're supposed to under Pennsylvania state law? That's a huge red flag. And now you're in a situation where if Shapiro wins and Fetterman wins, I guarantee you, will not serve a day in the Senate. And Shapiro will pick someone, or actually Tom Wolf would probably just pick someone in the lame duck session. And my money would be on the wife, on Giselle.
Yeah.
Republicans need to sue in Pennsylvania right now to demand an election day limit. That's it. You do not count ballots after election day. The Constitution prescribes a single day for the election. Sue now. And then, because I think the Supreme Court's still Democrat leaning. In
Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
If it gets rejected, you can cite that and appeal and be like, hey, we started this fight before the election.
Keeping with that, the United States Supreme Court has a ruling out on Pennsylvania when it comes to this, because Pennsylvania was saying, hey, we'll accept your ballots even if they're undated. Whereas everyone knows, no, that's not how that works. It has to be signed, has to be dated, correct mailing address, verified identity, all of it. That's Pennsylvania state law. Pennsylvania Secretary of State says, no, go ahead and send those in undated. And the Pennsylvania Attorney General, who is Josh Shapiro, who's running for governor, could not care less. And so they've come out at the state of Pennsylvania level saying, we don't care what the United States Supreme Court says. We'll accept the ballots either way. And here's the problem. Once you separate that ballot from the secrecy envelope, once you separate it from the outer envelope and put that ballot in, there's no identifying information on it. It's going to go right in with all the other ballots.
You know what I just realized about Fetterman's cognitive impairment is that it works out really, really well if you think about it. Most people didn't watch that debate. Now, what can you do? If Fetterman is asked a question, right? So actually, Jack, let's play. Ask me if I support fracking.
Tim, do you support fracking?
I absolutely support fracking, but I don't support fracking. Next question. And now here's what you do.
Wait, but you just...
No. You heard my answer. Because now my campaign can take both clips and send the I support to the areas where it's big and the I oppose to the urban centers, and you get them all.
But you were so articulate. Like, Fetterman can't say it like that.
No, I know. I'm saying think about what he's discovered on accident, right? So now you're going to have future candidates being like, I believe we should be raising taxes on the wealthy.
Wow.
I also believe we should be cutting taxes on our principal job creators.
Now, Mr. Fetterman, what's your stance on abortion, Mr. Fetterman?
I am absolutely pro-choice. And I believe abortion is wrong, and I am pro-life.
Now, what about these child gender transitions?
I 100% support gender-affirming care for children, and I believe the state should not allow doctors to perform child sex change
Final
surgery.
question. Second Amendment, Mr. Lieutenant Governor.
I support the Second Amendment rights of all of the people in this state, in this country. And I think we need swift gun control and gun reform to prevent violent offenders and people who should not have guns from having them, which means a ban on large capacity magazines and assault weapons.
And then you just clip whatever you need from
Bingo!
the social media
Exactly.
audience that you want to micro-target.
You can feel free to use that one for in the future politicians. You know, I may have been, I may be hitting gold here, right?
I kind of feel like they're already doing that.
Fetterman gets the credit. Fetterman. Well, I mean, with Hillary Clinton putting on the fake accent and AOC doing it.
Yeah, that's what
AOC.
politicians do anyway. They tell
Yeah.
you what people want to hear. They lie. They make promises they can't keep. They say, yeah, I support this if enough people want it. And then when they get into office, they go to all the lobbyists. They go to all the multinational corporations and bankers. And they're like, just tell me what to do. They're like, okay. And they carry out those orders, screwing you over.
Yeah, that Second Amendment impression you just did sounded just like John Cornyn, senator from Texas.
Is that what he did?
Oh my
The great
gosh.
state of Texas. They love their guns. They're so proud of their great 2A.
Well, up until this last convention.
And then you have a guy named John Cornyn who gets elected, says, I'm going to defend your 2A. And then you have the Republican senator from Texas that's tapped by Mitch McConnell to negotiate with the Democrats a bill to take away the Second Amendment rights of the American citizens.
All right.
He got booed off the stage.
Now,
he got
if I
booed
was-
off the stage at his own convention.
Yeah.
If I was running and I was on a debate stage, ask me if I support the Second Amendment.
Wait, are you Tim or are you Fetterman?
I'm me.
Tim, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do, and if elected, I will work to repeal all gun control laws as all of them are unconstitutional. That includes the NFA.
Booyakasha.
And I want to make sure everyone here is fully aware that I believe the Second Amendment protects your right to keep nuclear weapons and biological weapons as well. Next question.
Shall not
Max
be infringed.
check.
The Wuhan Doctrine.
I'm dead serious. You want to amend the Constitution, by all means, amend the Constitution. There's a process for it.
I get your point.
But the right to keep and bear arms included cannons and warships.
Right.
And still does. This is when I said this, and like all the lefties got really mad. They were like, "Tim wants people to have
cannons
nukes."
are not illegal. You can.
They're not
own
illegal,
cannon.
but not only that, it is private companies that have all of these weapons anyway. It is private firms that are funding bioweapons. It is private companies that are making nukes and other bombs. It's not like it's just the government that has nukes. These people don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, the U.S. government went to Eco Health Alliance and they're like, please give us your notes about what you were doing at the Wuhan Institute right before the coronavirus outbreak. And Eco Health Alliance said, screw you. We're a private entity. We can do what we want. We're not giving you those notes. And they didn't.
Boom.
So
who do you think makes the nuclear weapons? Is like, do people think that the government right now has like an arms division of scientists that are and a manufacturing base that's making nuclear weapons?
or the bioweapons, or the artificial intelligence
Hunter
weapons,
Biden.
or the latest next technology that we don't even know about that could wipe out humanity.
But in a pragmatic sense, when you're looking at some of these companies, if this were Russia or China, we would automatically define these companies as extensions of the government.
Right.
And so when it comes to the United States, we play this game that, these are private entities. Even if look at a company like Boeing, right? This is a company where by and large, it's obviously an extension of the US government. When you
Right.
look at some of the way that even big tech, the way that a lot of big tech works, because they've been given so many deals, because they clearly work with government at a very high level, which we've seen in lawsuit after lawsuit, that it's kind of silly for us to say, these are completely separate from government when they obviously have so much connective tissue.
Let's pull up this next story. This was crazy this morning. So New York Post employee responsible for vile and reprehensible content on the website and Twitter accounts. This looked like a hack at first.
No one say based. No one say based
Don't
in
say
the
it.
chat. No one
well,
say
in
it.
reference to the school one specifically, the rest of them were kind of freaky. But there was one post where they said to arrest the teachers' unions or something. But here's the story. This morning, I'm preparing my segment. I usually record around 9 or so. And then all of a sudden, I see the New York Post tweet out a call to end the life of a particular politician. I'm trying to be very careful because this is crazy stuff. And that apparently Ben Shapiro wrote it. And it was taken down within a few minutes. It was archived. A bunch of other posts popped up where there were calls for death on many other politicians. And then one of them that you're referring to, Jack, said to arrest teachers unions, and you were like, okay, well,
Case by case basis.
I think there was
but it turns out to have been a rogue employee.
I think
It
there
was
was
not
some,
actually Chris Rufo.
Yeah, I think there were some real stories mixed in with some of the fake ones, because I'm reading this one, and this one
headlines were fake.
This one seems, this headline seems real. Man shoved 8-inch deodorant can up his butt, left it in there for 3 weeks, and it's a picture of Adam Kinzinger.
No,
that's not part of it.
The trick here is the headline was real, but that wasn't actually Adam Kinzinger. The photo you
could see
his photo on it.
See how
right. So a lot of memes started getting made that people may have
so that
thought.
wasn't Adam. Like I thought that was actually legit of Adam Kinzinger, but I guess I'm wrong.
Someone put his picture there.
They put his picture there, right? But the problem is now is that when you look at some of the crazy news that's come out just in the last 48 hours, you're like, wait, is this another hack or is this a real one now?
Yeah, the Adam Kinzinger one had me believed.
Yeah, but that one was from a long time ago. I think it was like September or something.
The real story.
But this is a rogue employee did this, and the question is why? Why? Were they Democrat? I mean, they live in New York City,
honestly, and I don't have any inside info on this, but I do know people at the Post, but I think this was probably just like a work-related thing. Seems to me like somebody was just disgruntled at work, had access.
But it was overwhelmingly right-wing targeting the left.
But
and did you see Hochul's campaign is using it as legitimate?
Yeah.
So let me just stress this. Hochul's campaign.
So you're saying it's a left-wing guy who did it?
I think,
or it's
right.
politically motivated. Kathy Hochul, right? Am I getting her name wrong?
Yeah, but
Hochul,
somebody had to know that it would be.
Their campaign tweeted out that what the New York Post said, the violent misogyny was wrong, and they must answer for it. And it was like, yo, guy, they said they were hacked. Like nobody believed it was real. But here, I said this morning when it happened. There's going to be evil Democrats who know it's BS, but know they can use it to lie to their constituents, and they're doing it.
100%.
Well, that goes to what you were saying
flag.
earlier, right? That if someone only sees this headline came up from the New York Post, and then here's Governor Hochul, who's someone that I trust and believe because I'm a liberal Democrat, and she's saying that it was real, and now I hear some crazy Republican like Alex Bruesewitz or Jack Posobiec. Well, I'm not going to believe
Did
them.
this dude get paid? Because I'll tell you right now.
Wow, yeah.
Right now, they can run an attack ad saying, in a shocking New York Post headline, Ben Shapiro called for...
Right.
And
Exactly.
then, because it's a fact. It is a fact.
According to the New York Post.
The New York Post published this. And so the only thing Ben can do is sue the New York Post for damages because they're the ones who said it. That means every single political action committee can now use all of those headlines and say, in a shocking New York Post article, Republicans called for violence against Joe Biden. They'll say it. And you can't sue them now. Congratulations.
We'll see if it goes that far. I mean, if it does, I think it will be called out automatically. I would call it out.
No,
I think
bro,
everyone with common sense will call it
Hochul
out.
is actually claiming
Yeah.
it was real, and they're saying the New York Post needs
Do
to
we have
answer
her
for it.
statements?
Yeah,
It would be good
and
to
the
see her
statement came out really fast.
Here we go. Look,
Yeah.
Jen Goodman says, the New York Post has long fostered an ugly, toxic conversation on their front pages and social accounts. But these posts are more disgusting and vile than usual. The New York Post needs to immediately explain how this reprehensible content was made public. While the Post has made its preferences very clear in the New York governor's race, there is no room for this violent, sexist rhetoric in our politics. We demand answers.
This was pre-planned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The
A statement
employee
like
was paid
that,
off.
that seems like that was, look, they know that, like, we've talked about Shapiro in Pennsylvania, but you look at New York, Lee Zeldin has been up in like 3 of the last 4 polls that I've seen in New York State. Hochul, who was a candidate, an incumbent that nobody actually voted for, looks like she's going to lose to Zeldin. And I think she should, by the way. Zeldin would be a fantastic governor for New York. I pray for the people of New York that they'll be able to be represented by him in Albany. But the idea that they would have this statement already pre-planned.
And the New York Post said they were hacked 45 minutes before they put it up.
I mean, this is crazy.
They knew what they were doing.
Because look at what the implication is there. The implication is that these are the things that the New York Post wishes it could write. You know, because there's always that hit on people that are conservatives, people on the right, et cetera, where they'll say, well, we know what you really mean. We know what that's a dog whistle.
Yeah.
So this is like
America
them-
first is a dog whistle.
Yeah, it's a dog
for
whistle. Right.
Fascism.
Globalist is a slur.
Right. Globalist is a slur.
It's
Right.
anti-Semitic now, they say.
Yeah. So just say internationalist. I
So
guess.
is Alzheimer's Adolf. I got called anti-Semitic for that one recently. but I had some rabbis on Twitter that came to my defense, and they said Alex is a great friend of the Jewish people. So I use Alzheimer's Adolf still.
I just say internationalist. Nationalist and internationalist. There you go.
And it's so
I just say globalist.
immediately explain our question. Because look at what they're saying. Toxic conversation on their front pages and social accounts.
Yep.
More disgusting and vile than usual. But the implication there being that all of the content of the New York Post is disgusting and vile.
That's
and,
right.
And again, what did we have exactly 2 years ago was an article written by the New York Post that was censored resoundingly. Alex, you just spoke about this. And it was Hunter Biden's laptop. And that was broken by the exact same newspaper as the one that was targeted today.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they were censored on big tech social media
Everywhere.
for sharing their story.
Everywhere.
That according to many polls would have changed the election.
Yeah.
But that story was shunned. The federal intelligence agencies intervened and told big tech social media companies this story could be connected to Russian disinformation campaigns. And if you know what's good for you, you're not going to post this story.
Remember, Mark Zuckerberg said they visited him. They visited Mark Zuckerberg and told him.
Yeah.
That there was going to be Russian
gonna be
disinformation,
Russian
which
disinformation
specifically to this story, when the FBI knew for a fact after interviewing Tony Bobulinski that it wasn't a Russian disinformation story. They knew it was true.
Well, they
and
already
had
had the laptop.
verified it with Tony.
And they already had the laptop in their possession.
Yeah, they interviewed Hunter Biden's business partner who came there and verified that the laptop was real, and they still went around the big tech social media companies saying, don't run this.
Jack,
That's crazy.
They went and arrested, 12 pro-lifers?
Yeah.
Because you're not legally allowed to protest at abortion clinics. But when the protesters showed up at the Supreme Court justices' homes, which is also illegal, they did nothing.
Not just protesters showing up at our Supreme Court justice homes, Tim. They had an actual Antifa psychopath who showed up outside. It was Kavanaugh's house, right?
Yeah, with the gun.
They did
Kavanaugh's
arrest him
house
and charge
with a
him.
gun. They arrested him after he turned himself in by calling his sister and then calling 911. He was there with zip ties, with a backpack, with duct tape. I believe he wanted to capture, potentially torture Kavanaugh and his family, his daughters. And he said specifically that this was because of the Dobbs decision and because of his Second Amendment positions. He flew all the way from California to do this, which very interested to how he purchased the weapons, etc. But when Alito came out recently and said the Dobbs leak led to assassination threats, MSNBC and their viewers were attacking him for saying that because, and this goes to your point earlier, they don't even know that this happened. They don't even know
I disagree.
that there was assassination attempts.
I think they are evil people, and they don't care.
I'm talking about the followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audience.
So again, there's this tweet Aiden Paladin put out on Twitter where she's like, here's citation, all these studies showing that the leftism is dominated by envy, hatred, violence, greed. And I'm like,
Just like every communist since the history of communism.
yeah, it sounds about right. The problem is that people keep thinking that there's a left and that they want to be on the left, but they're looking at a cult of violent extremists thinking that represents true leftist values.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of mental disorders and radicalization that happens because of big tech social media censorship and the echo chambers it creates with its algorithm. And the man that you were just describing, I just looked up the story. He said that he was there to kill the Supreme Court justice, to specifically take him out and to ruin him because of the disinformation, because of the propaganda, because of the psychological warfare that's happening right now in our political system that is literally pushing people to try to assassinate other individuals because of wrongthink. That's crazy.
Exactly. Also, almost 200 days later, we still don't know who leaked from SCOTUS.
Yep.
And there's no, is there even an ongoing investigation? It's almost like they can't find the leaker and they can't find the J6, pipe bomber. That guy still, but they can track down the 12, peaceful pro-life protesters. They can track down thousands of MAGA grandmas who showed up at the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, if that was a conservative, we would have known in 2 seconds and
Yeah.
they'd be behind bars by now.
Absolutely.
I have good news, though. I got good news, guys. Let's pull up this story from the Daily Wire. Schumer warns Biden on hot mic that Democrats are vulnerable in key state. Quote, "We're in danger." That's a crazy thing for someone to say. privately, we're in danger. You're in danger. Why? Because when the Republicans win, there's going to be inquiries. Maybe. I really don't think they'll do much.
We'll see.
But this is the story. They're basically talking about Pennsylvania. That seat, we're in danger in that seat. Schumer told Biden, adding a few months later, it's close, we'll see. So they're thinking that it's going to shift.
Are you seeing the breaking news on Elon and Twitter?
Yeah,
What?
it's official.
It's not only is it official, but it says Elon, just 17 minutes ago, Elon has closed the deal and fired the CEO and CFO. Gone. Can we
All right.
ring that bell?
Let's
ring
go.
the bell.
Let's
Ding,
go.
ding, ding, ding,
Let's
ding,
go.
ding, ding, ding.
Hallelujah. You know what we say to that? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
And he fired Vijaya.
Yes, right.
Vijaya's gone.
Gade.
Gone. Who was personally
Lock her up.
responsible
For
for the
suspending.
suspending?
We got it.
Donald J.
We got it
Trump.
right here. Check it out. From the Washington, this is Jorge Bonilla posting. He did it. Elon Musk fired the CEO, CFO, and censor-in-chief. They say CEO Parag Agrawal, Chief Financial Officer Ned Segal, and Vijaya Gade, Head of Legal Policy, Trust, and Safety, were all fired, according to the people. Elon!
Elon was listening.
right.
When a prince must commit atrocities, commit them early. Commit
His
them
story
early.
is breaking. Wow, that's why she
There we
cried.
go.
Yeah.
She knew.
Elon. Okay, I'm sorry. Look.
She should have listened to Tim Pool when
She should
Tim
have.
Pool
Well-
tried to set it right.
She bought herself 3 years. Well, actually, Vijaya, if you are listening, I think it was early 2019.
Yeah.
I said, you guys can't keep doing this. And I actually said to Jack, if you keep doing this, there's going to be conflict.
Jack Dorsey.
To Dorsey. What did I say?
Well, geez, make sure you didn't mean me.
Oh, no, right.
no,
I said there's going to be violence. And then I joked. I was like, I'm building a van. I'm going to go live down. And then they all laughed. And then what did Joe say, a couple months ago? He's like, I had Tim Pool on my show and he was talking about Civil War. And I'm like, nah, get out of here, man. You're crazy. Now I think he might be right. So, these people should have listened to what I was saying when I was saying it. They didn't understand, though. I think Vijaya understood. The last thing she says is, thank you for the feedback. Well, now it took 3 years.
attention.
Took 3 years, but she got fired. So I really would love to have.
Yeah, my
sit
phone's
down
lighting up. Parag has left the building.
Wow.
Out.
I want to sit down with Joe and Elon
Out.
and talk about all of this stuff, and because
Vijaya is trending.
Vijaya is trending. Well, look, we did that episode, and a lot of people aren't familiar with the story. Like, I only had a couple 100,000 subscribers. I didn't have a big YouTube channel or anything like that. And Joe knew who I was. We talked for a bit. He ended up seeing a video where I did a commentary on Twitter censorship. I commented on his episode with Jack Dorsey that got panned, explaining some of the issues that I thought were wrong. Joe hits me up. I go out do his show. After the show, he says, how would you like to come on with Jack and their head of legal? And I was like, are you nuts, dude? I can't do that. And then he's like, no, come, let's do it. We did it. And I wouldn't call it perfect. There's probably a lot of things I'd look back on and say I probably could have brought up other issues. But I think it was extremely important. They did not expect it. The things that I brought up, notably that their misgendering policy overtly favors a leftist worldview, they didn't expect that. They thought, we have rules, they broke the rules, they get banned. I came in and said, that rule set only applies to people who believe it. And the conservatives have an inverted worldview on what misgendering is. And they were like, oh. Well, here you go. That's it. So,
Wow.
glad to see it. I really would love to talk to Elon, but come on, I've tweeted at him several times. It is what it is. You get him on the show, if he's the richest guy in the world. So good luck with that, I suppose.
Or just privately trying to reach out, being like, hey, maybe we could try to help you somehow.
Well, I think one of the issues with Elon is that the statement I think the statement he issued to advertisers makes sense from a business perspective. He doesn't want them to flee thinking he's going to make a hate speech platform. He's got to control some of the narrative. I think he gets that.
But he also specifically said in that letter, hey, you get to choose your experience here by expressing your preferences. You want to see something? You could see something. You don't want to see something? You don't have to see it. This is a rational adult take on the situation that leaves you responsible for what you decide you want to see on big tech social media instead of an all-knowing algorithm that, of course, will curate content for you and act as a form of mass hypnosis, mind control. So this is a step in the right direction.
They also fired. He also fired Twitter's general counsel, Sean Edgett.
Oh.
Thank goodness.
One of the executives was escorted out of the building. If this is all we get, thank you, Elon Musk.
Lock him up.
If tomorrow Elon just goes, I'm going to keep Twitter the exact same way it's always been, I'll be like, hey, it was worth it for that one day where we all got to laugh about the firing and escorting out of these people.
What happens if someone refuses to leave? Right?
Well, that's what happens.
Like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
If you face Elon,
It's like
in Mortal Kombat.
what is it?
Seamus.
Jordan Belfort.
Seamus, here's the cartoon you got to make. You've already got the animations from when you did the video with Vijaya. She's holding onto the wall going, no, and they're pulling her out of the building. There you go.
Well,
It's
next
over.
thing, she needs to be dragged before Congress and face the wrath of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we need answers about why they suspended our great President Donald J. Trump.
I found the actual quote from Machiavelli. I've been messing it up, but paraphrasing it. The actual quote is this: "Cruelties are well used if it is permitted to speak well of evil, that are carried out in a single stroke, done out of necessity to protect oneself, and then are not continued, but are instead converted into the greatest possible benefit for the subjects." The greatest convert. So that's my message to Elon. Convert this moment into the greatest possible benefit for the subjects.
So who should we have? In terms of replacing Vijaya, I'd say, I don't know,
Donald Trump.
James Lindsay. James Lindsay, are you working right now? Like, what are you working on?
He should
new
only
discourses?
appoint people that are currently banned on Twitter to
Milo.
the Twitter Trust and Safety team.
Milo's busy with interning for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Who is the
It's important work.
Ron Paul. Bring in Ron Paul.
Was it Martha? The liberal who was
Bring in
banned.
Julian Assange, Edward
don't know.
Snowden, make them official advisors, make them officially
Julian
work for the
Assange,
company.
yes.
Julian Assange, get him in there. Snowden, get him in
I
there.
mean, what was her exact role?
The head of Trust and Safety.
Why didn't you just get rid of that department? Because I don't think her department actually cared about trust and safety. I think
sure. But look, there are people who post criminal, images, right? Child abuse is the easiest example. You do need someone to be like, hey, we are actively making sure this stuff is not. It's not easy. I mean, of all nights to not have Ian on, we kind of could use his perspective because he did this stuff with Minds. He co-founded it. He did a lot of this stuff.
Megan Murphy. Excuse me.
Megan Murphy. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a lot of hard work that goes into Look, I'll put it this way.
wait.
Censorship is good.
I support.
Hold on. Censorship is good.
what?
Censorship is good. Censorship is a neutral term. What we don't like is political and biased censorship. What we do like is when they censor images of child abuse.
Absolutely.
And then forward that to the police and have those people arrested.
Or if
right?
you're like, hey, I know how to break into the bank. Here's the code. Here's the
Exactly.
security route, etc.
That is censorship. And so
Sure.
for someone to be sitting back there being like,
Here's Tim Pool's social security number.
exactly, get it out of there. Doxing, I disagree with, even though doxing's First Amendment. You're allowed to do it.
Sure.
I think we all agree.
Well,
that's
they did it to libs of TikTok.
Right. So address, name, whatever, like,
Revenge porn.
right.
I'm against revenge porn.
So you need someone sitting there reviewing content to pull that stuff. The problem is they decided certain political concepts were also objectionable.
Right.
And that's where we said, hey, that's bad.
Yeah,
That
and
is not good.
journalism, not just political
Right,
concepts, but
journalism.
actual journalism. And whether you were on the left wing or right wing, a lot of people got hit because they dared to question the establishment, the agenda, and the official narratives that are being shoved down our throats. And a lot of people just think it's right wing institutions. No. A lot of left-wing institutions, antiwar.com, Free Thought Project, antimedia.com. So many other individuals got hit, and a lot of people have forgotten about them. But these individuals also deserve to have their accounts back, deserve Carrie Wedler, also another individual banned on Twitter for some reason. She's also another fellow anarchist. Again, that was just hit and dinged for what? Expressing critical thinking of what they were trying to get us all to conform to.
Look, that's why I'm calling for a general amnesty.
Yeah, bring back the Krasenstein brothers.
I'm fine with
Hassan
that.
Piker has called for Trump to be reinstated. Breaking news. He says,
Somebody's worried. Somebody's worried.
What does
Come
that
on.
exact tweet say? I can't see that.
Don't care, unban Trump.
Don't care, unban
Wow.
Trump.
yo, hey, Trump is money.
Hey,
Trump
fight
is
Sam
money,
Hyde.
and
How
everybody
about
knows
you
it.
fight Sam Hyde? How about that?
Right, I've been saying that for a long time.
Look. Luke mentioned this the other day, but these journalists right now are going, yes.
Like,
yes.
money.
They're sitting- right now, there's like alarms going off at newsrooms, and they're like,
The Coliseum is reopening.
Trump may be coming back.
Yeah.
We got to get a team together for this. I'm going to call the advertisers, let them know our views are going through the roof. Let's get it.
You've seen that video they made of like Elon in the control room, and then Trump signing back on Twitter. So this could potentially happen tomorrow.
Right. Well, the second Trump comes back onto Twitter, there's a certain Republican politician who thinks he's a contender for 2024 who's going to lose like all of the
Mike
limelight.
Pompeo
And
Mike Pence.
You know, a lot of these Republicans have benefited, like that think that they have a chance at 24, have benefited from Trump not being on the town square.
So-
and he's about to re-enter the arena. And
Is
it's gonna
he?
be
Because
great.
he says he's not going to do it.
Well,
Donald Trump said specifically, I don't care.
You mean
I
getting
don't
back
care.
on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't
He has
care.
to. He has to.
There's-
But he publicly said, I don't care. I don't want to be on Elon Musk's platform. I want to be on Truth Social. That's what he said publicly.
Let's just say
He
that.
has to be on Twitter.
Let's just say
I know he does, but he says he's not going to. And he has a big ego, and his ego usually decides a lot of the policies.
Let's
be
just
honest
say
with
there
each
might
other.
have been a reason he had to say that, but he's going to be back if he's
How do
allowed
you-
back.
how do you
Okay,
know?
but so right now, a fatter version of me is being tweeted about by Benny Johnson. There's a clip. So I want to play it because I don't even know what I'm saying in this.
Nice
with a
beanie.
list of private phone numbers, addresses, yet Kathy Griffin, she's fine. The guy who threatened the lives of these kids in Covington and said, lock them in the school and burn it down, you did nothing. I mean, he got suspended, he had to take his tweets down. Was he banned for threatening the lives of kids? Absolutely not.
So again, we have, and I'm happy to talk about all these details. We have our policies that are meant to protect people, and they're meant to enable free expression as long as you're not trying to silence somebody else. Now, we take a variety of different enforcement mechanisms around that. Sometimes you get warned. Sometimes your tweet is forced to be deleted. It's a very rare occasion where we will outright suspend someone without any sort of warning or any sort of
That's them laughing on the
ability
show.
to understand
That's
what happened.
me and
What did
Joe.
you guys do with it?
But Tim, those accounts were actioned. They may not have been actioned the way you wanted to, but the tweets were forced to be deleted, and the account
Sure.
is took a penalty for that. So
I understand that,
What
but
kind of a penalty?
well, again, as I said earlier, Joe, we don't usually automatically suspend accounts with one violation because we want people to
I love how
learn.
Joe's
We
just
want
not
people to
taking it.
understand what they did wrong and give them an opportunity not to do it again.
Right.
And it's a big thing to kick someone off the platform, and I take that very, very seriously.
So
I want to make sure that when someone violates our rules, they understand what happened and they're given an opportunity to get back on the platform and change their behavior. And so in many of these cases, what happens is we will force someone to acknowledge that their tweet violated our rules, force them to delete that tweet before they can get back on the platform. And in many cases, if they do it again, we give them a timeout, which is like 7 days. And we say, look, you've done it again.
Suspension.
It's a temporary suspension. If you do it
Time out, you're a mom.
I forgot how
I'm
bad
totally
this
a
is.
mom, exactly.
I forgot how bad
And
A new mom, too.
and if you do it again, then you're done.
Right.
So it's kind of like, 3 strikes.
So-
sort of like baseball. And so in some of these cases that Tim's referencing, I have to imagine, because these tweets were deleted, they are violations of our rules. People are upset that the account came back again and was allowed to say other things. But we did take action on those tweets. They were violations of our
and then
rules.
So there was a period on Twitter where people were saying the word groomer, and it means a specific thing. It's a reference to an adult of any background, of any sexuality or origin or race, trying to introduce sexualized concepts to children for the sake of, getting them into sexual circumstances. And that word still means that. There was a campaign by a bunch of leftists that it was actually an anti-LGBTQ slur. Twitter initiated a new rule without making any announcements, retroactively enforcing this as hate speech.
Yep.
And then I got locked out of my account. It said, simply delete the tweet and you can come back. Well, I got news for you, Twitter. I just did not. I don't care about the platform. There's a lot of people who are like, I refuse to take it down. I'm like, delete, whatever, dude. Like, it's like, who's going to see me having said something 3 months ago that they're banning now? The tweet's gone. And I routinely erase old tweets anyway. But the point is, she's lying. I broke no rules. I expressed a legitimate political opinion. Vijaya, you never fix the platform. Jack Dorsey and Vijaya told me after that show, we are working on a path to redemption.
Yep.
It should not be a life sentence when someone says something wrong for the third time. They never did it. Jack never did it. She never did it. Good effing riddance.
Yep, they were lying
Amen.
through their teeth. They never followed through with anything that they promised, and they still began to use the platform as their own kind of political punishment tool for trying to hurt people for expressing wrong things. Again, Jordan Peterson, he's still locked out of Twitter to this day right now, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think a lot of people didn't do anything wrong, and they were taken out of the major town hall that everyone depends on for speech.
Look, she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
She just got it. But here's I have a question actually, because should we put these two stories together? Should we connect some dots here? Because so we were told, right, that the Tesla engineers were going in to look at the code. That was this afternoon. And then here we are, and it's 3 hours behind, so it's about 6 p.m. San Francisco time, and now just a few hours after the Tesla engineers were allowed to look at Twitter's code, the entire, as we would say in the Navy, head shed, the entire leadership, it looks like almost the entire C-suite.
The head of the snake.
The head of the snake has been completely lopped off by Elon Musk on day one. Day one, you're fired.
That's great. But also, what's terrifying...
I think he found something. That's my point. I think he found
Absolutely.
something.
How can he not? Because obviously they were doing something wrong. Right. Obviously they were fudging the data. They were lifting the scales. They were doing something that was absolutely wrong and unfair
because
to
he's
everyone.
got liability. He's got liability now. That if he found something and he didn't get rid of the employees as fast as possible, then the liability would be on him.
So here's
there's going to be lawsuits.
A text
There's
exchange.
absolutely going to be lawsuits.
A text exchange that ended up getting released between former CEO Parag and Elon.
I love this.
He says, "You are free to tweet, is Twitter dying, or anything else about Twitter, but it's my responsibility to tell you that it's not helping me make Twitter better in the current context. Next time we speak, I'd like to provide you perspective on the level of internal distraction right now and how it's hurting our ability to do work. I hope the AMA will help people get to know you, to understand why you believe in Twitter, and to trust you. And I'd like the company to get to a place where we are more resilient and don't get distracted, but we aren't there right now." Elon responded, "What did you get done this week? I'm not joining the board. This is a waste of time. We'll make an offer to take Twitter private." Imagine being in this position and someone's rich enough to buy out your company and you're like, "You listen here, young man. I'm going to tell you what you can't do." And it's like, "Bro, I will buy your company and fire you."
You saw the letter, right?
What letter?
That the open letter that was being circulated by Twitter employees.
Oh, yeah. They were like, "Don't fire any of us. We demand it."
For our political beliefs, they said.
Right.
You shouldn't. They said you shouldn't come down on someone for their political beliefs.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
This is a group of people that I think for people like Vijaya, go back to listen to the hubris that's in her voice 3 years ago talking to you, Tim, and the response that I'm your mother. I tell you when you're in timeout, when you're not. I tell you when you've been a good boy or when you've been a bad boy. I will correct your behavior based on my beliefs. This is someone who never in her entire life, and it's not just her, but it's all these employees who signed this letter, they've never had to face actual accountability at any point in their entire lives until about 5 minutes ago.
True.
Yep.
And that woman that you just talked about, just had that mindset. She also had that mindset when thinking about the president of the United States. When Donald Trump was banned, he was sitting in the Oval Office. And as Luke mentioned, it is the most important, influential platform in the world. And that girl boss, Vijaya, which is a fun name to say, by the way, I'm just going to throw that out there. But she banned the sitting president of the United States for a lie, which has been proven to be a lie. There needs to be accountability.
The first thing I would love to see, or I should say, I hope Elon, I know it won't happen, but Elon, if you're listening, invite Alex Jones to a tour of Twitter HQ right now. Just bring him in.
Yes.
Show him around. And that's it. I mean, just give him a tour and say, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. And the reason I mean this quite seriously, and the reason is many of these people in San Francisco think fake things about Alex Jones because the media's lied to them. They have never escaped. They've never been outside of this bubble. Bring Alex Jones into the bubble. Let him walk around, introduce him to people. Hey, nice to meet you. And that's all they'll get. And they'll be like, that actually wasn't so bad. Start normalizing interactions. So be it Trump Jr., Alex Jones, Milo, or whoever, invite them in, say, come in, be polite. I want to show you around and you can introduce you to these people and we're going to try and solve these problems with the political bias. That is a huge step towards having these people be like, well, Alex came here yesterday and then nothing happened. He just kind of walked around and smiled and shook hands. I was scared. I thought it was going to be bad. And then why would you think that?
All of this goes back to the anti-bullying campaigns. All of this. That this idea that you can't stand up for yourself, that you must avoid confrontation and then take everything to a higher authority. That you have to go to, if someone's bullying you, it's don't stand up for yourself, don't assert yourself, have no self-confidence, just run to the teacher, run to the principal.
Be a snitch, tattletale.
Be a snitch, be a tattletale, all this stuff. You have created this culture that has infected the entire rest of our society where we cannot. And you see this, by the way, you see it with millennials, you certainly see it with Zoomers. They cannot handle direct confrontation, even if it's someone that in their mind, right, is a bad person. Like, and you see it when these videos with Alex Jones is kind of like walking around Seattle or whatever it is, and they see him and their faces just, begin contorting. You've actually created this mental weakness and crutch in people that never used to exist before.
This is a great idea, Tim. And it shouldn't just be Alex Jones. It should be everyone that was banned for their political speech.
Yeah.
No, let's have a day where all the Twitter employees now have to meet the people that they banned on social media. have an outing, have a picnic day, bring out every single person that was punished for their political beliefs, and have a day where they all just meet each other, and then that would be beautiful to see, first of all. And second of all, you could get rid of a lot of the stigma, a lot of the tensions between everyone and all the fear, as you mentioned, and I think that would be magical to see.
Yeah, I like that idea. And Jack, you're 100% spot on with the bullying campaigns. Look, it sounds nice in theory, but the lasting consequences are horrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell the whole story since we're on YouTube, but let's just say that my 4-year-old was at preschool, and he came home and his clothes were a little dirty, and I said, Jack, what happened? He said, oh, one of the kids pushed me at school today, and I said, okay. I'm not going to finish the entire story, but let's just say I didn't tell him to go and run to the teacher the next time it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what my father did when I got bullied. I got pushed down. He said, you see that kid? You get the biggest one, you punch him as hard as you can in the face. And I did, and I stood up for myself, and I was so happy I did.
Is this statement from Trump real?
Which one?
Whoa, what do you got?
What did he say?
Congratulations to Elon Musk on his purchase of Twitter. Many people are saying that change was needed, as the old management was too concerned with the woke agenda. I have been told that my account will be back up and running on Monday. We will see. Happy to be able to engage with an African-American owned business.
No, it's not real.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound like him, but it's important to note here that in May of this year, Elon Musk specifically said that when he would buy Twitter, he would allow the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, to return with his account. Donald Trump then swiftly answered when Elon Musk said he would bring him back, saying, quote, specifically, I am not going on Twitter. I'm going to stay on Truth. I hope Elon buys Twitter because he'll make improvements to it, and he is a good man, but I am going to be staying on Truth. I will be truthing. That's the official statement by Donald Trump in May of this year.
I don't think the statement's real. I don't think the statement's real.
The statement that I just said.
I know.
Luke,
that was
your
a fun,
statement's
I'm saying
real,
the one I mentioned was a funny meme. But Luke, you keep saying that.
Yes.
We get it. But Trump has to be on Twitter,
He does.
period. He can say whatever he wants. It's irrelevant. He has to be on Twitter, period.
Right.
Of course, if you want to be a part of the conversation, yes. Will he? That's the big question.
Yes, he will.
I'm a betting man. I bet yes.
I will make a gentleman's bet with you, good sir.
Yes.
He will come back on the platform. The 60 to 80 million. How many followers did he have? 80, 100?
88.
88 million.
88 was one of the last one I saw.
And he's got, 4 or 5 on Truth Social?
Something like that.
His diehard supporters are on Truth Social. His ability to manipulate the press is on Twitter. He said that because there's a SPAC merger involved. He has to say that. But I'm telling you, he has no choice but to go back on Twitter.
Agreed. And also, January's coming, and Trump's 2-year ban on Meta, on
4.3.
Facebook, on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, it's up.
That's over
We're
too.
back, baby!
So the 2-year timeout on Trump, it's coming to an end here.
Yeah, I
and
think
the
by the
memes
way,
are just
though,
getting ready, baby.
By the way, though, let's and far be it from me to be the Debbie Downer or whatever, but the regime's going to strike back on Elon.
Yeah, I mean, they're already launching a probe into him.
It's not just the regime.
They're going to go after SpaceX. They're going to go after Starlink. They're going to go after Tesla. They're going to come in and say, well, we can't allow. Remember, and there was that trial balloon last week to say, well, the CFIUS, we're going to look at your funding, the investment here. So that, and then they pulled it away immediately and said, oh no, that's not true. That's not actually happening.
Yeah.
That was a message.
But
that was a message to Elon.
And it's not just the federal government. It's also big players like Bill Gates that were organizing PR campaigns and organizations and groups to pull money from Twitter when Elon Musk would buy it. This was in the works. Bill Gates was planning to attack Twitter, to attack the advertisers, to start a whole PR campaign to try to bring Twitter down. Specifically, this was even admitted with all of the money and all the influence he has. So right now, Elon Musk, he chopped off the head of the snake. He's the head right now, and I think there's going to be people coming after it.
You know what he should have
no
done?
doubt.
He should have gotten like a black cloak with a hood and then put on roller skates or rollerblades so that he would float slowly into Twitter HQ looking and pointing, "You're fired." Just like, and it would be very demonic as he
What was
just
that movie where they
through.
came in with the paintball gun?
Oh, yeah. It was, no. Was that Suits?
That Suits?
That show?
Yeah.
Show,
where
yeah,
he comes
show,
with
yeah.
it's
Entourage.
like the Entourage.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gel blaster.
Yeah, that was good.
I
But
mean, I don't know about
what I'm most excited
that.
about is we're with Twitter being bought by Elon is we don't have to wait for any more strongly worded letters from Lindsey Graham about reining in big tech, because Elon just went out and bought it.
Look, that being said, I'm just going to say it, right? This is not, the get rich quick scheme. This is not the magic wand being waved and acting like all of the fundamental problems and issues that we've been talking about and this program has been discussing for the last 2 years. They haven't magically gone away because Elon did this. This is a stopgap measure at best.
Right.
And those issues are going to continue until the people of this country actually come forward, put forward serious legislation on big tech. And I think there still is a place, by the way, for Getter, for Truth Social, for Rumble, for all these. I certainly hope that Elon, I think based on what we've just seen, this is definitely a step in the right direction for integration between Twitter and Rumble. But at the same time, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You should never do that. Look, as I'm sure as Ian would say if you were here, you never leave all your stash in one place.
Absolutely. And it's important to understand here. Now, I think we're finally going to get some big tech regulations in federal government.
So the Daily
Not in a
Beast
good way,
just
but-
had a piece about that saying this is why we have to be careful about big tech oligarchs. Suddenly.
Well, I mean, the reason the censorship went crazy in the first place is because, our great veterans of the meme war in 2016, like Jack, we use social media so effectively.
And Luke.
And
He was
Luke
there.
and
a lot of people who got deleted.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The POWs of the great meme war of 2015, 2016, that once you let those riveting frogs return onto Twitter and the social media platforms writ large and just actually allow people to speak freely and share information, right? A lot of this goes back to the WikiLeaks drops in the fall of 2016 and the fact that people were simply discussing the words and phrases and content of those WikiLeaks drops, whether it be the DNC emails, the Podesta emails, et cetera, Hillary Clinton stuff that came out. That was why they started turning the screws on everybody
100%.
else and claiming that, oh, you made up this and you made up. No. Everybody was reading the words of your own emails. That was from y'all.
That's exactly right.
I just tweeted groomer.
Can we dead name
luck.
Rachel Levine?
Well, I don't know. YouTube is still owned by.
Yeah, Tim's like, Jack, no.
Karl Rove.
Can we say learn to code?
Can we dead name Karl Rove?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say that.
I'm doing learn to code.
We
can do it together.
We can do it
It
together.
doesn't matter.
Luke, we'll tweet. learn
Karl
to code.
Rove, who, by the way, complete traitor.
We've got
We could say it.
right now on the live show. People are just watching me post tweets
I'm
for the
dead.
historical record. Learn to code groomer.
The chat is all.
Tell all the
now.
Twitter employees.
Yeah, what should I tweet? It's super chat. Super chat me what I should tweet. Frog emojis.
Looks like
This is going to be so interesting. This is going to be so fun. I mean, this is again. There's going to be a lot of people going after for Elon, his companies. It's going to be so fascinating to see how he's going to navigate all these pressures. I hope he has good people around him. I hope he sticks to his guns. I hope he sticks to the basic principles of free speech, which I think he understands will help out humanity in such tremendous ways. Because if you look at all the mess that we're in right now, it's predominantly because of the lack of information, because of censorship, because of people controlling the narratives and agenda. It's because of ignorance why these elites and bankers and multinational corporations are able to get away with so much travesty, with so much injustice. And now all of that could change in a moment with just free speech, with us just being able to talk to each other.
Luke, are you saying we are change?
Yes. I could have done a cheesy thing. I did it before. I don't want to do it again. But
I got you, buddy. I got you.
But this is an opportunity that is rare.
Yeah.
And we got to take advantage of it. We
Guys,
as individuals have to take it seriously.
This is kind of amazing. You know, like Parag Agrawal got fired, and he already knows how to code.
Wow!
That's a good point.
Congratulations.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know who really also deserves to get fired. All of those people that are making those absolutely irritating TikToks of a day in the life of a tech, and they all keep saying the word obviously for some reason.
Oh, I know.
So obviously, I came to work and I obviously had made myself a caramel macchiato, and obviously I went to a meeting, and then obviously I had to take a little rest. So I went down to get lunch, and then obviously I went to go to the roof for a little bit to just catch some vibes, and then obviously we went out to dinner and drinks, and obviously it's the word obviously again and again.
I just think
And
it's
there's
funny.
100,000 of these videos. By the way, and I just put it out, guys, you realize that tonight, this actually is the October surprise. We're living through the October surprise.
Can
now.
we pull this one up?
This
Because
is-
we have a tweet from Jack Posobiec from 1 minute ago. For those that are listening, it is a frog making the suck it gesture.
What did you type in to get that gift?
Is it meme folder?
We're still on YouTube, so I can't reveal all of my meme.
We'll share it later.
Yeah, just let him. I'm just going to let him keep going. You know, while we're sitting here.
That's pretty much it right there.
That's
the frog.
one happy frog.
Wait, but you know that Matt Fury is doing Pepe again, right?
Oh, really?
So
I thought Pepe died.
No.
Pepe is inevitable.
No, he's completely done a 180 on this because he found out about NFTs. I'm serious. You can go. There's a whole Washington Post article on this.
So now he's like, okay, I want it. It's
so
mine.
he's like filthy rich now and is completely leaned in on Pepe, is making completely, and by the way, not just memes, but full on animations of like a whole world of Pepe and different Pepes.
Clan Pepe, Nazi Pepe.
No, nothing like that.
canon
Like
Pepe now.
Pepe doing karate, and then like an old Pepe watching him train, and then it goes into like Pepe's falling through an hourglass and like really trippy stuff. There was like a Darth Vader
Aren't
Pepe.
NFTs worthless?
How many do you own, Jack?
Not when he was doing them.
I hope
He's
he
done
sold.
very, very well for himself with NFTs. I forget
Jack,
what
how many do you own?
zero. I don't know any NFTs.
Any promo codes for that one?
Promo code Poso. But he's done very, very well for himself, and he's just totally leaned in on this, and it's not even political, right? It's just Pepe.
I dig it.
I haven't
I
been
don't-
banned yet. I tweeted, I'm dead naming Rachel Levine, Karl Rove. We'll see how long it goes.
No, wait, did we talk about what Karl Rove is actually doing in Pennsylvania?
We did not.
The snake.
What's he doing?
The snake. Alex, you want to go for this?
What's that neocon
so-
warmonger doing?
Yeah, so Karl Rove, the part of the reason that the Trump movement happened because of the failed establishment GOP policies of Bush and Rove and all those losers. Well, he's now spending money against the Republican gubernatorial candidate, Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania. And this is the principal conservative that's spending money against Republicans. And it's completely outrageous. He's basically saying that Fetterman and Mastriano are the same people. They're both too extreme for Pennsylvania. And none of the Republican consultants are upset with this. But all of the Republican consultants lashed out at Trump for saying that he's not going to support a closeted Democrat in Colorado named Joe O'Dea, who's significantly overweight, but that's not even part of the point. But Karl Rove needs to be called out for spending millions of dollars against Doug Mastriano.
So what he's doing is you've got people who donated to a Republican super PAC, and he's taking Republican money and using it to support a Democrat running for the governorship of Pennsylvania along with Dr. Oz. So it's a pro Dr. Oz, pro Josh Shapiro ads that are running on TV, that are running on the radio, all across Pennsylvania. And of course, by the way, they put out this statement to the Philadelphia Inquirer. Well, we're merely highlighting the records of shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we're stupid? Do you honestly think we're stupid? And so John Solomon's called them out on this. I've certainly called them out. You've called them out. Look,
Jenna Ellis has.
we're done with the games. We're absolutely done with the games. We know what this guy, Josh Shapiro, has done to the state. We know the fact that you want to talk about who rolls with Doug Mastriano? Let's talk about who rolls with Dr. Rachel Levine and the experimentation, the grabbing of homeless children and children in the foster care system and sticking them into gender transition studies at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, aka CHOP.
There's also the I believe Rachel Levine pulled
Doug forgot
when the elderly were being killed by the governors who were putting COVID patients in the nursing homes. Rachel Levine pulled their parents out in advance.
Yep.
So I think it was obvious that many government officials knew
her
exactly
own parents.
Yeah.
And put them in a hotel.
and they knew what was going to happen with
Their
New York,
policy.
in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in California. And where's any accountability for all those dead people, all those people who were killed? And the thing with Cuomo, which really just, you had the what was the boat they had? It wasn't the Mercy. The Mercy was the other one, I think.
They had a whole naval hospital ship in the
which one
harbor
was
in
it?
New York.
It wasn't the Mercy, I
forget.
think, because I think people corrected us on that one. But also the Javits Center.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to give Trump a victory.
The Comfort.
The Comfort.
And
Didn't
also
want to
Central
give Trump-
Park.
But
They
also
had medical facilities
not a
inside of Central
single
Park.
bed was used.
And
by
they
the way.
refused to use it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no.
They refused to use it.
Yeah.
Because it would give Trump a victory.
Exactly.
Correct, yeah.
Right, because they're like,
All
Trump,
right.
we'll give you. She's like, yeah, whatever you want. Here's the Javits Center. Here's the
Guys.
sending of the entire U.S. Navy.
I am. It's all coming back. It's going to be like 2017 all over again. It's going to be the memes. It's going to be the crying. Donald Trump. He's gonna post. We're gonna pop the champagne. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a bottle of Louis in here.
I think this
when-
is an opportunity right now.
You think right now?
Right now,
to crack the
absolutely.
Louis the 13th.
I don't
The head of
know.
the snake.
What do you got?
They're all fired.
That's a good point.
They're all fired.
It's kind
He's
of huge.
in charge.
Do we crack the? You know how expensive this is.
We'll get another one afterwards.
Oh, come on, dude! Look at Mr. Pennybags over here.
I'm like, well, you guys see World's End, Nick Frost. I'm
No.
like, tap water for me.
I mean, we the election's coming up, right? That might be. I don't know. Winning an election is not like a Louis the 13th month.
That's not going to matter as much as this. This is going to matter.
You wanna
This is
crack it
going to
open?
have
He
an effect.
really wants a drink.
I don't want to drink.
You have
but-
to sell. I will say this though. You have to celebrate victories.
Yeah,
You
guys
have
wanna-
to for the
Thank you.
purpose
Do we have
of
any glasses?
celebrating
That's the Slavic
victory.
side in you
That is-
coming out.
That is Slavic. You
in
celebrate
Poland,
your victory.
Yeah,
All right.
in Poland,
Yeah.
we understand.
All right.
We have to celebrate
Yeah.
what
I
we
think
can.
I think we need
Stolat.
glasses though.
Yeah.
Stolat.
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 Can we yell at someone to bring up 5 glasses?
Is
Yes,
anybody
we can do
watching Timcast tonight?
Inside of the
The people
Timcast
are downstairs.
I can holler at Kellen.
I'll go.
Oh, you
grab
mean
it.
literally yell?
Yeah.
Someone just yell out the door.
Hey,
But yeah,
hey!
life is short. It's filled with a lot of crazy journeys, and when it's up, you got to appreciate it.
Right, you got to
know?
appreciate it because if you don't celebrate your victories, who will?
Exactly.
Right, they're not going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, they're going to act like this doesn't mean anything, like it's not a big deal. Like, oh, he's got the box.
He's got the
Yeah,
box. Do we have the white cam?
Wow.
I wish I could do it.
We have the white.
Shot
Don't we
on
have the
this.
white cam?
Yeah, I can't pull it up and check it out
Wow,
though.
hold
Just gonna
on.
wait for him to come back.
Best one to do.
Just so you can see it right on the
Look at
camera,
this.
and that's perfect right where you are.
Look at, is that a golden plaque?
Yeah, it's
I'll just open it from this way.
Wow.
Don't drop it. That'd be a bad omen. Like you're holding that precariously.
It was just stuck open.
Louis the
Mr.
13th.
Mr. Pennybags here understands not to destroy things of value.
it is, the button.
Whoa.
Wow.
Look at that.
Okay.
There we go.
Look at that.
Whoa.
So this is unopened, and we had it for a celebration.
From the 13th century, folks.
If there
what it
ever
is?
is a time, this is it right
Someone told me that's like really expensive, Grand Champagne Cognac.
yeah.
I mean, if
This
it's
is,
actually Louis the 13th, but it's no.
You guys know how much this is? Several $1,000s.
Wow.
And it's like $200 for an ounce at a bar.
Yeah, it's wild.
So it's there you go. So Luke, where are the glasses at? Who went to go get the glasses?
You want me to do
We're
that?
gonna have a clip to last for the ages. of us cracking open a bottle of Louis XIII to celebrate Elon Musk firing the executives of Twitter.
I'll go get the glasses.
I'll take it.
Luke's like, Luke's already
Luke,
gone.
are you all right, bro?
Luke, Luke, why are you getting sweaty?
That was
the white shot.
Yeah, just give me a second here.
We'll do a wide shot of us cheersing with a very, very expensive. I don't drink.
Yeah, I don't drink
never
either.
drink.
So yeah.
I don't drink either, but we gotta have
A sip.
Yeah.
All right. Get the good glasses. What is it? What is this for the thing?
Yeah, it's just so I can see it. Otherwise, I can't see it. Otherwise,
Well, who cares? Just pull it up, and
Tim,
if it
did
looks
you
dumb,
see,
it looks
did you see
dumb.
the meme that I just retweeted?
We're getting silly with it. I don't care what it looks like.
All
Oh,
right,
we got
cool.
glasses already. Ooh, look
So,
at this.
To me, let's keep zooming.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, thanks, Kellen. That's what I was telling you.
You can move it around. Just use the little
Louis
arrow.
the
Yeah,
13th
yeah,
cognac,
There you go, look at that.
$4,500
$4,500.
Wow.
for a bottle.
This is the most expensive liquor I've
And then
drank in my entire
taxes.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
By far the most expensive I've
You
drank
mean
in my
theft?
life. Right.
How do I open it? I mean,
First created in
Yeah, just pull it around.
1874.
You'll probably have like a little cork inside there.
That was the year that Joe Biden was first elected to U.S. Senate.
So here's the description. First created in 1874, Louis XIII cognac is an exquisite blend of up to 1,200 grapes, sourced 100% from Grand Champagne and matured slowly inside oak casks.
Yeah,
a
cognac.
rare artifact that is the life achievement of generations of cellar masters.
look at this.
Wow.
Look at this fancy thing.
Yeah.
So
Is it a watch?
I went to when I was
it's like a
when I-
watch on the inside.
The
Like a
first
pocket
time
watch.
I ever had Louis was at Trump Tower.
Oh,
At
wow.
the Trump Tower bar in Chicago.
Oh.
And they had it up on the top. And so I said, I would like to try that. I was with some friends and I was in Chicago, people I've known since I was a kid who are good friends of mine. I hadn't seen them in a long time. And I said, guys, we're going to do the best of the best. And when they pour it, they actually have like a little butter knife almost to make sure they don't miss a single drop. And they really measured it out and made sure it was all perfect. We're not doing that tonight. I'm just just pouring a little bit, and no, I'll make sure I won't lose that drop. There we go. All
Pass
who's
it on,
next?
Jack.
There you go.
Jack.
I'll give it a sniff.
No, just do a tiny little bit.
Oof. No,
tiny bit.
No.
How many years, Jack?
All for you. 17 years.
Congratulations.
17 years. Thank you.
Oh, you've never
17 years.
figurative.
Hey, props, man. Props. Okie doke. I'm going to put it to me now.
That, and by the way, that was strong. That was, I mean, what was
Wow,
it?
yeah, that's
Stings the
Well,
nostrils.
At least get like some water. I got some like
Yeah, give me-
seltzer
give me
water.
something. Yeah,
we
give
got
me
to
something,
we got
yeah.
to cheers. You know?
No, I do want to cheers. I do want to cheers. Give me something. If we had
This is like $100 right here in this glass.
Serge.
Yep.
I knew I got it to celebrate. We did this big crazy run where we bought a bunch of really nice booze. It's for guests. So, when we have people here, but this one was never open. This one was like special and it's got to be for something important. But I think this is it.
I can still smell it, by the way. Like,
Yeah, it's
that's how
amazing.
strong it is.
All right.
All right.
There it is.
Stolat
Stolat.
to free speech.
free speech. To free speech.
Good enough. I'm close enough.
There we go.
Just give
Yes.
me that. Yeah, there we go. It's good
All
enough.
right, ladies and gentlemen.
Down the hatch.
You got to enjoy it. You don't just slam it.
I took it as a
Did you,
shot.
I only had a
you
little
guys
sip.
took
I took a
shots
shot.
of Louis.
Oh, no. I didn't even have a shot. I had like barely half a shot. Just a little bit.
That's actually remarkably good.
It is
Yeah.
good.
good.
I don't like drinking at all. I despise alcohol in every way, but there's a reason why this is so
It
expensive.
smelled spicy.
It's good stuff.
Like
Cheers,
spicy.
everybody, to the good days, to the victories. Let's hope that November 8th is also another day worthy of the Louis XIII,
Yeah.
and what appears to be some that spilled.
Oh, no.
That's on me.
That'll be
I will find an alternative to Venmo because they reinstated their misinformation policy, and then I will pay you with that.
wow.
I just happened to see this one.
Delicious.
Stephanie Guevara, that was the Twitter, I guess, iOS engineer. It says senior iOS engineer at Twitter, who was tweeting at Elon and like
She get
all this
fired?
nasty stuff. No, she locked her account.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Wait, why
Welcome
is there
to
a
the
picture of
internet.
Hunter Biden on there?
that's just a tweet from Zero Hedge.
How handsome is Hunter?
Are you saying he is handsome?
He's a handsome guy. Handsome guy.
really?
If you're into toothless crackheads.
Wait, Tim, did you see the meme I just posted from
You just posted it right now, or what?
from Mission is Great from Doug, Works by Doug?
When did you how,
I just retweeted it.
right now?
Like a couple minutes ago. 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. How do I find? A random Wait, was that it? Nope, that says Tim
That's
opened.
just well. If you click my account, it'll go to it.
That is correct. If I go to your Twitter,
Scroll down, right there. That's so good.
God bless the memers.
You got it. God bless the memers. That's right.
I came on the show the first time, I think it was like 3 years ago, and I said it's going to be memes that are going to save this country.
No, that's exactly right. You know, I've made the
And
harsh.
everyone thought I was crazy. They're like, memes? This guy's a joke. What is this guy? And I'm like, trust me. It can't happen.
You know,
Four words.
occasionally.
4 words. Make Twitter orange again.
Well, I have gotten into some beef with some congressmen, and you know they go get the media friends on their side or whatever it is, but I always have the memers on my side, and I will go. I'm able to run fearlessly into battle, knowing that they have my back, because the memers, they love this country, and quite frankly, they do more good for this country than all of Congress.
first
combined.
They are our modern scholars.
They are.
The first rule of InfoWar is whichever side has the memers wins.
Correct.
Amen.
Whichever
No,
side.
the meme magic.
The meme magic. Yes. Yes, the meme magic.
It's evident that Elon's got all the meme magic.
Yeah,
He's got
it's
meme
delicious.
magic on his side.
good
We'll,
stuff,
we'll
man.
see. We'll see where this goes. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's conjuring any Egyptian chaos gods.
Yeah.
But
well,
something
we will go to super
is
chats
afoot.
now
All right.
after our little celebrations.
For anyone wondering, it's delicious, by the way.
It
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
you have to
I
celebrate
enjoy
your
it.
victories.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Life is
That's
short.
a huge cultural victory right there.
Life is short. Don't
This is more
Don't
important
take-
than any election, in my opinion.
take
Hey,
the moment.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. If you have freedom of speech, then you have the ability to fight back.
Exactly.
And you have the ability to hash out and debate, use your memes, whatever it is, to defeat the other side and actually argue your position for what's better for the
It
people.
equals
Absolutely.
the playing field between
Yeah.
the most powerful people on this world and everyone else. It is the quintessential David versus Goliath story.
If Trump
right
had
now.
never won in 2016, the censorship never would have existed.
No, it existed before Trump.
Yeah.
It existed very
and
severely
there's
before
dead
Trump.
internet theory.
No.
They were realizing they
That's
were losing.
fascinating, by
Yeah.
the way. Dead internet theory.
So let's do this. Super chats. If you haven't already, would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com. Go there, click join us. We're gonna have a members only uncensored show afterwards, which I imagine will be fun and spicy.
We're gonna be dead naming so many people in there.
That's right. But for now,
We're going to down the bottle.
for now, we are going to read your super chats. All right, let's see what we got. Zeno Rabbit says, will crypto go up because of Elon's Twitter deal? It already has. Doge
yeah.
is up 35%, I heard.
Yeah.
And I hear Ethereum is up. I don't know. Not sure. All right. Let's see what we got here. Not Danny McBride says, I can't wait for the new song next Friday. I'm going to pretend Tim wrote it for me since that is my birthday. Yes. We are releasing the song. It's called Genocide.
It's really good, by the way.
And it's funny because like a bunch of bands have released songs that are called Genocide and they're very like, very serious. But this is actually kind of like a pop rock
It
song.
reminds me of Muse.
Does it really?
I'm messing
Oh,
with
I
you.
see what you're saying. I see what you're doing. I'm like, no, I think it's like pop rock with some modern elements, but probably a throwback a little bit.
It's a good song.
But we've got some special guests that are going to be appearing in it. High profile media personalities I won't name. And they might sue us because of it. We'll see what happens. We still have to film it, but we're working with a company, and I don't want to say too much. But the song is about. The song is basically just about marching in lockstep with the lies of the media that bring us to war and famine and great resets. So I think people will really like it's overtly political, and the video is going to be overtly political. I'm going to be putting on my best Tucker Carlson for this video.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to see it.
People are already posting the wide shot of all of us
Yeah, hell yeah.
from the
Cracking
cheersing
open
here.
the Louis the
Yeah,
13th.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
They're like,
That was a
these
moment.
morons just cracked open a $5,000 bottle of cognac because Elon bought Twitter. Morons. That's right, morons.
Geniuses. Did you retweet it? I want to retweet it.
Yeah, I just did. Yeah.
All right, just a sty says, "Hey Tim, what do you think about Saudi Arabia breaking ground on the smart megacity? And if you get G. Edward Griffin on, I'll become a member of Timcast." I think the only reason we didn't was because he's old, right?
I got to reach out to him. He would be
Do it.
great. I interviewed him a number of times. He's awesome, super smart. He wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island.
That's right.
One of the smartest minds we still have out there.
I didn't realize he was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and-
And
Oh,
wow.
he interviewed Yuri Bezmenov. A lot of people don't realize it. He was the other guy in that video interviewing him.
no way.
Yes, and he's the one who wrote Creature from Jekyll Island.
I had
super
no
smart
clue that
guy.
was him.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. So
Just don't say anything. I'm showing you this, Jack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll just for those that are listening, I just got a text message from someone responding, and it's a good day.
The texts are flying, folks.
The texts are
flying.
My family, my dad just opened his most expensive champagne. That's what he says in the chat.
I got a text.
No, and
from
if
someone,
you're out
and it's
there,
just,
let me just say that, right? That this celebration, if you're within the sound of our voices right now, celebrate tonight. Whoever you're with,
Yeah,
grab your best gal, grab your
Please
guy,
do,
grab your
please
kid.
do.
there's gonna be like
Tonight is a night of celebration. Tonight is a
There's-
celebratory night.
there's gonna be some woman. She's like sitting on her couch and she's watching. I don't know what do they watch, The Watcher or something. And then her husband's gonna run over and go, "Honey," and she's gonna go, "Yeah," and he's gonna pick her up and he's gonna give her this passionate kiss, and she's gonna be like, "What's the occasion?"
There's gonna be a
Elon
baby.
just fired
There's gonna be so many babies made tonight. We're gonna be making babies all night, folks. This is the Timcast baby boom.
So it's gonna be. It's
You
gonna
got to
be
name the baby Twitter.
Yes, right.
around
Yes,
around
yes.
July. We see a weird spike in all these babies.
Right, like what could it be? What
Why,
could it
why are
be?
they all named Twitter?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got.
Just the stock TWTR.
All right, DJ Codgill says, Tim, your knowledge on the Civil War is cringe-inducing every time you blank. There's nothing there, just every time you space. Get Thomas DiLorenzo, Ryan Dawson, and his brother Scott, or even Razorfist on to give you the other side of the story. Other side? The pro-union side? Is it? I don't understand. Is that the point you were making? Because I was talking the other day about there were 4 states, North Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Virginia, that did not initially secede. And then it was only after Lincoln called for 75,000 troops to suppress the South that they decided to actually join the Confederacy. So I guess the other side of that is why the Union decided to invade or whatever. No, I mean that literally. I mean, I don't think I know everything about the Civil War. I think I read a few academic papers the other day. Anyway, we'll read some more. Grofty says, finally, Buck, I had video that was recently fed to me about Tim that was hilarious to watch. The Twitter game really affects some. Was it about my tweets? I love how, basically all of my tweets are insane.
Right.
I said Elon Musk should make a new verification, except it just shows that you're a fascist and it's red. Yeah. And it's just like, I wonder if these leftists actually follow my tweets and think they're real. And I have to imagine they do.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. No, the people have this thing called Google IQ now is kind of what I call it. And it's this idea that, you look at some of these books that gets written on any subject, and it's always just sort of like a compilation of the top 5 Google search hits. And there's no actual research, there's no actual work, there's no primary source research done, interviews, anything like that. And then people will say, oh, well, I can just Google something and therefore I know everything about that subject. And it is probably the biggest danger in society today, which is why this Twitter situation is so huge, because you've got an ability now, he can actually break the echo chambers. People will be able to see truth for the first time ever.
We got a major fact check here. Alex, you should be ashamed of yourself. Dream Cream says the Pokemon movie scene happened the other way. Ash turned to stone.
Get out of here
And
right
it was
now.
the Pokemon
Right
cry.
now.
Oh,
that
God, they're
saved
going to be
Ash.
talking about this now.
Spit that Louis out.
Sorry.
Spit it out.
And you spilled it.
I haven't seen that movie in many years, but now it makes sense. You guys are right.
Yeah.
And now the analogy doesn't work. And
It's like the only show where you'd get fact check on that.
On the Pokemon movie? Yeah, dude.
All right, Matthew Hammond says, have you asked why advertising agencies overlap with Democrat voters on Twitter? Anheuser-Busch was acquired by InBev in 2008. In 2014, they moved considerable ad spending from St. Louis firms to New York City firms and set the stage for the centralization of woke advertising. A study was done that mapped cultures and communities on Twitter, and they found that digital marketing and liberal voters was basically the same block.
So that's what Dave Portnoy is trying to do now.
What is that?
Well, I mean, it's so Dave Portnoy is doing this whole thing where he's trying to say that, okay, I'm more masculine, but I'm also in terms of sports and drinking, but that's the only kind of masculinity that is allowed, and betting, obviously, because that's where he makes his money. But then in terms of every single political issue possible, he's as liberal as they come, whether it be abortion, whether it be any of this stuff.
True. Well, with all these companies going woke, I think
Barstool conservatism.
I think it's important that we start. You saw Ulta had 2 men talking about beauty products recently.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All of these companies are going woke right now, and there's an awesome company called Public Square, publicsq.com.
We love Public Square. Yes.
And they are fighting back like we've never seen before against the woke corporations. It's basically connecting pro-America consumers with pro-America businesses. Tens of thousands of pro-America companies are on the platform, hundreds of thousands of users. And so I strongly suggest you guys go to publicsq.com, get involved and fight back.
Are
against
we-
woke
We are
America.
big fans of
Are we
Public
allowed
Square.
to talk about what Public Square has planned for their next phase, or is that not public yet?
Secret?
Well, you know,
Well, it's just well.
They're kind
let's
of like
not- yeah.
they're kind of like a directory right now, but they have plans.
it's going to be
Public
huge.
Square is businesses that have this pledge where they support American values. It's amazing. You open up the app, you look at the map, and you can find businesses near you that agree with American values, like the Constitution, for instance. And then you can choose to give them your money. Let's read more. We got Kalishnikov. He says, Tim, can we please hear you say Roe v. Wade, John Fetterman style? Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade. I support Roe v. Wade. Because the weird thing was that he kept saying it the exact same way every time.
Right.
Oz rule.
Osrule. The
Roe v.
Osrule.
Wade.
Osrule.
Let's see what we got here in the old super chats. Waffle Sensei says, when Elon fires everyone and employees start screaming and crying, he should simply lay a hand on their shoulder or look them straight in the eye with a loving smile and say, learn to do real work.
Wait, there was a thing that Zero Hedge tweeted, and I wasn't sure if it was a true quote or not, where he was talking about remote work, and he said Twitter employees are free to work from home as much as they want, just not from Twitter. For Twitter. I was like, was that a real quote? I mean, I choose to believe that's real. As
gotta be.
Steve Bannon likes to say, too good to check.
This is
Yeah,
good. This
gotta
is
be
good.
real.
Kylo Wolf says Elon Musk should bring Trump back to Twitter so long as his first post is a video reading off the name of every employee Musk's cutting from Twitter, followed by "You're fired." Or how about Elon bring Trump in to go up to the people you're firing and go, "You're fired."
I mean, and then but then also charge pay-per-view for it, and you'd instantly make Twitter profitable.
There you go.
Overnight.
Who needs advertising?
Through Rumble, by the way.
In other news, Twitter generates $736 billion in one night after Elon
yeah,
Musk.
exactly.
That'd be
Jim.
great.
All right, Legamathigayan says, Fetterman said he supports and doesn't support fracking literally in the same breath. In the future, the sympathetic media and orthodox leftists will parrot whichever position is most advantageous in the moment, and anyone who points out the flip-flop will be an other. Have you guys watched Kill All Others from on Amazon yet?
No, what's
I
up?
haven't.
You need to watch it, Jack. Amazon Prime. I know Amazon sucks, but Electric Dreams is the show.
Okay.
It's an anthology series, and I think the last episode is called Kill All Others, and you need to watch it. It is a must watch. People who've listened to this show and watched it know exactly what I'm talking about. People who didn't, you don't understand. You have to watch. You have to.
Yeah, people in the chat said earlier, there's a prediction of the future.
It's prophetic, but it's also a great commentary. The gist of it is this regular old factory worker guy bumbles about, comes home, turns on the political interview with the mainstream candidate. And they're like, so what are you hoping to do? And the woman's like, well, I want to bolster education. I want to get inflation on track. I want to kill all others, of course. And I want to make sure the working class in this country know that I'm here for them. And then he goes, what did she just say? And then he plays it. And then he's like, honey, listen to this. The interviewer is going to get the candidate. And then the interviewer goes, now that's controversial. Education? I mean, a lot of people. And so basically what happens is there's another scene where he sees a woman screaming and running, and people are chasing after her, beating the crap out of her. And he's like,
she's an other.
Because she's an other. And and then they were like, why are you defending her? Are you an other? And he's like, no, I just stop attack. And then it escalates from there, and you can imagine what the episode is like.
Yeah.
It's really good. My mind was blown when I watched it. I was like, damn. Because it's like,
No, but Tim, that's so confusing because there's nothing like that going on in the real world.
you saw Susan Sarandon, right?
Yeah,
When she was
exactly.
basically like, Democrats are bad. And it was like, she made this post where it was like,
Well, I'm sure in her mind she didn't think it was Democrats.
no, of course, but
Yeah.
it's not Republicans. It said when they're censoring speech and getting violent, that's when you know things are getting bad or something. And it's like, that's clearly Democrats.
Like if you're raiding the political opposition, locking
Right,
them
yeah.
up, taking
Yep.
them off of the public square, that's clearly you're smearing them throughout the internet, etc.
I just got a text from one of our fallen heroes, the great Carpe Dunctum,
Yes.
and I just want to say that he will be back on Twitter.
How does he know?
He will be back, and he'll be back better than ever before. But he said he's got my back because I was talking about.
But is he saying he intends to fully utilize Twitter, or has he been given a promise or?
Oh no, he said he's got my back, but I'm telling you right now, Carpe is going to be back, and he's going to be back with vengeance, and the memes are going to be phenomenal.
He actually texted me as well, and he just sent me a picture of Vijaya's Twitter bio, and he highlighted the part where she said legal policy and trust lead at Twitter, and then he wrote permanent suspension for misinformation.
Carpe is the man. We need him back desperately.
Of course.
And come back soon, Carpe.
Actually, a lot of people. No, wait. A lot of people are tweeting that about Vijaya now.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. What is this one? Crooked Smile says, any chance we could get Ian to dress and act like Seamus for an episode on Cast Castle to lure Seamus out of hiding? He just abandoned us, you know?
We also got Alex. I'm getting all these texts from these fallen heroes. Alex the Lord, ALX the Lord. He said he's going to be back soon too.
Throw him up for ALX.
We will rise.
But hold on.
A lot of people are putting an orange in their Twitter bios now.
Are they just saying like, I hope I'm on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like.
Right.
Yeah.
So
let's see. You just texted. What did he send me? No, you just text.
So it's people saying like, I'd like to be on the platform.
Many people are tweeting the orange emoji right now, like the orange fruit. Yes,
Oranje.
exactly.
Trump. What I'm saying is we need some confirmation that the move's going to happen.
Agreed. We need him back. Hurry up, Elon.
All right. John R. says, on the Joe Rogan podcast, Vijaya pronounced her name Vidya. Good. So I apologize for mispronouncing your name, Vidya.
No, it's not. That's not as fun as to say.
All right. Here we go.
Vijaya is more fun.
Liberty Bell says, Jack, get Mastriano to send teams to Pitt, Philly, and A-Town. Hispanic and black families are conservative. Show them what Shapiro will do with education and his crime-enabling policies. PA is key to mid-class, energy, and Northeast.
I mean, Josh Shapiro just wants to be president. He doesn't care about how many Pennsylvanians have to die between him and the White House, and that's really all it comes down to.
Everyone started posting oranges in the chat.
Amen. Bring him back. Throw him up, folks. Throw him up. Throw him up.
Eeyore says, hey, Tim, saw your morning segment about Twitter. I'm glad the majority of them are being fired. I believe everyone should endure hard labor in life. Maybe they'll learn to have thicker skin with calluses on their hands. Did you guys see that day in the life of a Twitter employee video that went viral?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Just
Obviously.
These are the people who are like, you're being really mean and we need to ban you. Elon, you got to fire him. You really do. Or make him go work in like the boiler room.
Tonight,
what do they even do?
Tonight, the streets run orange.
All right. Let's grab some good super chats.
By orange, I mean Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, by the way.
Hey, you guys can't see the chat, but there's literally oranges like the entire way down the chat.
Just all
Throw him
oranges.
up, Orange Lord. Orange Lord. Orange man good. Orange man good. There once was a man who went around the country warning us of censorship, warning us of illegals, warning us of rapists coming across the border. And the people hated him, and so they threw him away. But some say one day, El Naranja may return.
All right. Nick Williams says, I think Musk pushed off the purchase until after the global recession because most of the leftists' funding sources are now tied up in trading down. I'm not sure I understand.
I guess because Twitter and Facebook and Amazon, I think that's a little too on the money. I don't know if he could have timed that.
Let's grab another super chat. We got a bunch here. There. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, there's a lot of people saying to drink the Louis. We did. Mm-hmm. Alitza right now says James O'Keefe and Carpe Donktum can return. We are hoping that. And I assume it will be the case, but I think you may be right. We need some kind of mass amnesty.
General amnesty.
I think the first thing they can do immediately is anybody who was verified is instantly reinstated. And then after that, anybody who was I think verified probably should be the threshold, but it's like anybody banned under the criteria of political speech, like a hate speech rule.
Yeah.
Anyone banned for illegal activity and flagged, I don't care if they stay banned.
Or if it was misinformation, if it was one of these things. Or, by the way, why not also some sort of appeals process for, hey, I was banned under these weird multiple accounts rules kind of things. Because as much as I want James O'Keefe and ALX and Carpe and all these great people back, imagine the people out there with 50 followers,
100%.
with 25 followers, 100 followers that plugged away every day, that retweeted stuff, that used the promo code. What about them?
Yep.
Somebody actually has to make sure that those people come back. And so that's why I say general amnesty.
After January 6th, hundreds of thousands of the people you're just talking about right now,
Complete massacre.
They were all removed, and they don't have an access to the town square. They can't have a conversation. They can't. That's so wrong. And so you're exactly right with what you just said there.
Raymond G. Stanley Jr. says, Tim, that was a nice moment. Always move forward. And we'll have clips of that, the little image of us cheersing the Louis the 13th.
It's already going viral.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let
yeah,
me pull
for
up
sure.
my...
Yeah, people screenshotted it, and it's already kind of like a thing.
Let me... you retweeted it?
Yeah.
I'll retweet it. Let me pull it up.
We should drink orange juice.
We should drink orange juice. I'll drink orange juice. Yeah.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Posobiec serves Kool-Aid on Timcast.
All right, I'm tweeting real quick.
Spiked with oranges.
There's no angles.
Any
or
good
really
ones, Serge, in
watching.
there that you see? Super chats that you want to address and bring up right now?
Cheers, Tim and crew. I'm raising my glass with you guys. Deleted all my social media accounts except for this, but I will be signing up on Twitter now. Rad,
Signing up
dude.
on Twitter.
I also just got a
Also
Twitter,
become
just
a
so you know.
member at timcast.com. We're going to have that members only show.
That's a huge point. A lot of people are going to flood into Twitter now.
Yeah.
You're
Hey,
gonna
man,
see a
I
huge
just-
surge.
I'm going to
Don't
invest in that platform more than any other platform right now.
Wow.
Right.
Well, so are we able to talk about the rumors, or should we? Are we not? I don't know about what Elon may do. Did we already talk about those, or what's going on?
Well, I know he's talked about general amnesty. I know he's talked
No,
about
I
bringing
mean-
Trump back.
No, I'm talking about like with other companies.
The Rumble stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You said it. So what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, the rumor is either a straight up integration / partnership, or possibly, if he looks at the numbers and if he feels like doing it, maybe even a wholesale acquisition. That's been the big rumor.
I mean,
this week.
Rumble's
Rumble.
been crushing it. They have 78 million daily active users on
Yeah,
there.
it's huge.
It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
We have a couple 100,000 subs on this channel and my other channel.
Yep, we
And
post
then
Rumble every day.
Yeah. We actually get a decent amount of views. It's
great leadership
We
team
get way
over
more on
there.
YouTube.
Recchietta Law is killing it on
Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, that's true.
And Bannon War Room.
Killing War
Insane.
Room, obviously, yeah.
If Jack does a deal, I'm sorry, if Elon does a deal with Jack Dorsey, if Elon does a deal with Rumble, then all of a sudden, people who have built these Twitter followings now have a video platform alongside it with potential for monetization. It's going to instantly make something substantially more valuable.
It's the only platform that doesn't actually provide monetization to its most engaged and highest follower count users.
True.
It's just every single other one has this.
True.
Yep.
I mean, they've tried the super follow, right? Where you're like basically paying to endorse some.
Yeah,
but nobody does
They
it.
will try everything other than actually just directly supporting people. It's super follows. They tried this ridiculous communities tab that nobody likes.
Right.
Spaces, which is definitely
Fire the
not-
bloat.
Killed Periscope, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
so stupid.
You need, if you bring in Rumble, you have to sit down and take that original Periscope code, put that, because I believe Twitter still owns that.
Yeah.
So take that code, give it to Rumble, integrate Rumble with a way for me to just be able to go. All I want to do is go live on Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted to ever do.
Yeah.
We used to get millions
There's no
of
live
views
at all
on
anymore?
these things.
There's
There's
no
a live, but it's
terrible.
horrible.
Right.
It's hard. You could
Vine.
even be. You could
They
be
see- they
on
see the TikTok.
full
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, and it looks like potato. It's just
Yeah.
total potato level.
I can't believe that Vine
Seamus would like that.
made celebrities. Vine was huge,
Rest in
and
peace,
Twitter was
Vine.
like, shut it down.
Yeah,
That was
rest in
massive.
peace, Vine. I
No,
was
they
super
killed
Vine.
Periscope because it was like me and Cernovich were the ones that were getting the most views on it.
Well, maybe with Elon, they'll learn their lesson, man. A lot of people are saying Laura Loomer over and over again. I really do look forward
Bring
to
her
seeing
back.
Laura
Bring her
back
back.
on. And maybe there's something she can do. She can, like, when she gets invited to Twitter, she'll be wearing a handcuff on one wrist as she's shaking the hands of the people.
But then she'll be the one escorting people out.
All right, everybody, if you haven't already, would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com, because we're going to have a members-only uncensored show, and there's a lot more to say. We've got a couple other stories we want to talk about, so we will have that over at timcast.com for you. You can follow us at Timcast IRL. You can follow me at Timcast. Alex, do you want to shout anything out?
Follow me at Alex Bruesewitz. My name's spelled in the caption. And get out to vote, flood the polls, watch the polls. We need to make sure that we have a red wave on November 8th because we have a country to save, my friends. Elon played his part. You do yours on November 8th.
Jack Posobiec, host of Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice, also on the podcast side. 25 minutes a day, our motto, our oath, our solemn vow, be good, be brief, be gone. To everybody, 25 minutes or less. Libby Emmons has been co-hosting some episodes this week,
cool.
so a lot of fun there, more conversational. And I'm going to be in Pennsylvania for the next couple of days, campaigning with Doug Mastriano. Going to be at the Trump rally with Dr. Oz and Mastriano here in Latrobe. And then we'll be headed to Phoenix for the election. But remember, folks, we have 12 days left to save the republic. And so I know there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights out there. But if you're having trouble sleeping in the night, anxious about Elon Musk taking over Twitter and potentially losing your job, Vijaya, it's simple. Promo code POSO at mypillow.com is still available to you, Vijaya. I know it's going to be rough tonight. You're going to need a quality pillow to sleep on.
Dziękuję, chłopaki. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/wearechange. I did a very interesting video today about Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin, and his New World Order comments. It's a very interesting video. I'm very proud of it, and you can watch it right now on youtube.com/wearechange. See you there.
And now that Twitter is South African named, everyone can see this is kind of a big view right now. Now that it's South African owned, I will be getting a Twitter. I have a Twitter. It's
African owned.
Yeah, it's South African owned. It's African owned. It is Serge with
support
an
African
E.
American businesses.
Yeah, support African American businesses. Thanks, guys.
You can
Good
really
one.
see in the Y chat how messy this room is.
I know.
Yeah, we need some.
We're gonna get a better one, guys. It'll happen.
This is like when
We're
my-
building the new space, and
Right now.
we got a bunch of stuff. We're filming the music video for the new song this weekend.
Yeah.
Some of it's already being produced with CGI, and then we're also filming the car contest, so it's gonna be really, really fun. So head over to timcast.com, become a member. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see y'all there.
Cheers.
I don't get it.
No, I said gays for Trump.
Oh, gays for
Gays for Trump.
That's who tweeted.
We're still alive.